Good morning, folks. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Feminist Friday, one of our weekly shows here on the Morning Manifesto. I'm your host, Jovan Bradley. It is 8:05 a.m. on Friday, January 6th, December 6th. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you had a great evening. Yeah, let's not talk about my new name. Good morning, Alina.
Good morning.
Everybody. Oh, you are super quiet today. Is that me? Is that on my end? Or is that on your end?
I'm very sleepy.
I'm sorry. Say that again. I couldn't hear it.
I'm very sleepy.
We could tell. I can't really hear you. But I also can't tell if I can't hear you because it's quiet on... I feel like mine is also a little quiet. Like my headphones. But welcome in. We're in Feminist Friday, everybody. It is a little quiet on my headphones. I was right. Hold on. Say something now, Alina.
Testing.
Okay, no, it's you.
Okay.
Well, no, we couldn't hear you. I fixed that chat, but Alina's still just a little quiet today. So also good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome in. We have three topics on the board. First topic is USA hates women. Yo, thank you for following over on Twitch. This is just sort of a staple of the United States, and it's hatred of the woman gender. The next one is if your feminism doesn't include black, trans, queer, or women of color, then it isn't feminism. And then the final one is men don't want wives, they want maids. How do we feel about what's the new name? Okay, listen. Yemye won a auction yesterday and got to change my name.
I just wanted to say you're welcome for the new name, Jovan.
Unbelievable.
That's all.
All right. Renese, yeah, I'll try to get that to you by the end of the day today. My apologies for not getting that to you yesterday. Oof.
So I have a request.
Yeah.
For friendly today, can we only do women and trans women?
Yeah. Well, you get to control the request, so.
Allegedly.
Usually. So you heard, Alina, if you are a friendly and you are not a woman or trans woman, a cis woman or a trans woman, do not come in. Do not send a guest request because you will not be accepted. If you do disagree, though, with any of the topics on the board, all you got to do is call into the show. You can, Jesus Christ. You can get in contact with us by calling into the call-in number, which I'm going to open up right now. Or you can get in contact with us by guest requesting on TikTok. Those are both two ways that you can get into the conversation. Remember, only request if you disagree, if you are of the man persuasion. We don't want no damn stinking men up here. I'm also going to mostly be quiet today because I also have to learn.
Nah, you're allowed to speak.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for gracing me with that privilege. You should add a point about anti-individualist feminism versus pro-working class and collectivist feminism. I feel like that would be a very long point. Can you mention it's the 35th anniversary of the what? I don't know what that emoji is. Oh, the pew pew in Montreal where 14 women were killed? Okay. This is me mentioning it. I don't know much about it, so there's not much I can say about it. Let's see. I think straight males just need to come up with more genders in the street. Male community than alpha and beta and say, huh? Is he saying the USA government hates women? Yes. Or Americans do. Also, yes. Just in general, men hate women. I think is a just in general, you know. Just in base general, men don't be liking women. You know, it's why I have point number 3. Men don't want women to be wives. They do not want wives. In fact, I will change that point. Jeff was right. They don't want wives. They want maids or they want mothers. Men aren't looking for equal partners in a relationship. They're looking for someone to take care of their kids. And you know why that is? Because men refuse to partake and share in household labor because men are lazy. Men are misogynists. All right, that should have changed it. There we go. Bro is spreading hate like a incel. Where's the hate? I just love to know where the hate is. Who do I hate? Alina, who do I hate? I can't tell. Oh, that was fast. Someone said she ain't gonna pick you. Good. The fuck? Me? Rads, that's funny. What's up, Piss Lemonade? Damn, apparently I'm the soy boy, Alina, but a lot of YouTubers refusing to call in right now. Very interesting. You just said men don't do housework. I said men don't do an equal distribution of household labor. Please keep up. In fact, I have the source for that. Overall, women tend to do about, when we're looking at the split between household labor, women pull about 49 minutes of household chores a day on average, while men do about 19. Annually, women do 6,431 more hours of housework than men, more hours of unpaid labor than men do. So yes, there is an unequal distribution of household labor. And that is because men don't want wives. They don't want partners. They want maids, they want mothers, and they want nannies. What's up, Rads?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Interesting that it's so quiet with the ops.
Well, because
peculiar.
I think men don't know how to defend these points. Big real talk. But it also might be because a man is speaking. So they're more intimidated. They think they can dunk on like you and Alina. Which is why I said I could be quiet. This guy's source is Andrew Tate videos. What? Who are you talking about? That is, they do want wives, then that is what wives were developed to be in large. That's crazy.
Bikes.
Oh, wait. No, wait. I think this might be someone that agrees. That is what wives were developed to be in large part, microcosmic representation of the subordination of women to inculcate children into misogyny. Okay, they agree. They're saying that like the creation of the role of a wife was just to be a maid, nanny, and a mother, right? It wasn't to be a partner. I would agree with that. I think they did, but I read it wrong. I think I read it wrong. By the way, guys, remember we do have I have to change it. We do have a tip goal today, as we always do. Feel free if you want to support the show. Remember, let me just do the commercial break now. Let me just do a commercial break now. Because why not? We're sitting here. Let me do a commercial break now. Why aren't you showing commercial break? There we go. This is the Morning Manifesto, a live morning news and discussion show here on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. We do this every morning. Okay. If you are chilling here, remember I do have a merch store. That's JovanBradley.com. You can go to the merch store and buy a ton of merch. It's sick merch. Go and grab it. All the merch is great. Remember to like and share the live if you're here chilling, especially if you're on TikTok. Like and share the live. That's what keeps us on the FYP. It's what keeps us on the For You page so we can get more people viewing the live and we can get more people ready to argue. This is our class schedule. We do Anti-MAGA Mondays, Trickle Down Tuesdays, Woke Wednesdays, Theology Thursdays, and Feminist Fridays. That might change if we feel like it, but you know. Support the show, guys. Support the show. Cash App and Venmo are in bio. Please feel free to support the show. That's our tip goal up there in the corner. If you want to support the show, you can. And remember to gift this panelists, especially Alina. Also, I think I might have spelled especially wrong. It looks wrong. I don't know. If you're on TikTok, gift the panels. Also, apparently the TikTok is frozen. Also, we have a toy drive in our link tree in our bio. Go do the toy drive. I'm going to have to reset the TikTok, I guess, guys, because it's frozen. So let me reset the TikTok and then I'll bring you both back. Okay. Hello, are you here to have a conversation about the topics on the board?
Yeah, how you doing?
Chilling. Can I just get your name, age, and pronouns?
Yep, John, he, him, 28, from Canada.
Okay, John, what are your takes on the topics on the board?
Oh, number 2. It can't be real feminism unless it also includes men.
I don't think feminism should include men.
I used to think that too until I read Bell Hooks. Like, I was on Reddit one night talking to a couple guys, and one guy said that, like, yeah, like, Norvin isn't the person I would, like, talk about, and when talking about, like, what guys go through. And we committed Bell Hooks.
I think men will...
Is that,
just really quickly, it's kind of hard to hear you. You're fairly muffled.
oh, sorry, it's like, I'm talking on a headphone going to work right now, so I'm trying to get everything out.
Okay. Hey, I would just say that men will receive the benefits of feminism, but feminism isn't for men, in my opinion. It's the same way whereas like anti-racism, white people would see a benefit from anti-racist policies, but anti-racism is not for white people because white people don't experience systemic racism, just like men don't experience systemic sexual or sex-based oppression or gender-based oppression.
Yeah, I understand that, and I used to be of the same mentality. But like, what Bell Hooks argues is that like, under the patriarchy, that like feminism focuses the way it is now, focuses on only one half of the solution. You can focus on the other half too, and like you yourself, like, I don't know if you consider yourself a feminist or not, but you're helping to like help like redefine like how like men and women and everybody else in the spectrum should like have equal rights, right?
Should men and women have equal rights? Yeah. What?
Right? Like, and you're fighting for that.
Uh-huh.
Are you not?
Uh-huh.
So like, I kind of feel like you're kind of proving like Bell Hooks' point there that like you're the other half of the equation, and that you're trying to like help fix the system. And the argument that she makes is that like men are sort of forced into like this pattern, this like mold that they have to like fit themselves into, which can be toxic to them.
I'm confused.
Because like a lot of guys see like oh, sorry.
I'm just confused. Are you saying that like because Jovan is advocating for equality that this is not an issue? Like I'm confused.
Oh, my bad. It's like I was saying that like because he's advocating on like behalf of women, that he's fighting for equal rights for everybody. That like he sort of proved like that like there is a spot for men on feminism. Because the goal isn't to like make one side equal or better. It's to make everybody. Sorry, the goal isn't to make one side like unequal to give one side more power to make everybody equal in a relationship or anything.
Okay, but he's one man. By and large,
one guy.
men do not advocate for women and for equal rights. So are you doing something to advocate for women and equality?
I always advocate for women's rights to bodily autonomy because I have sisters, and I've seen firsthand that like my sisters are like I don't want to say like manlier than men, but like if you put a man in the same situation as my sisters, I don't think they'll be able to come out all right at the other side. So I don't really buy into the stereotype that like men are stronger than women. They're stronger in different ways.
It's still really hard to hear, man. Just FYI.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Like, let me switch my phone so fast.
Sure, but again, just to let you know, my point is that when we're talking about systems of oppression and we're talking about how sexism specifically affects women because they are the oppressed group in the United States when it comes to gender-based things, right? It's the same reason why I wouldn't say, oh, the call is instantly better. It's the same reason why I wouldn't say that, like, again, when I'm saying like, oh, we need to be anti-racist, I'm not talking about passing policies for white people, right? Because men don't need policies passed, or men don't need fighting for equality because they are already in the seat of power.
Yeah, I get that. And I switched my phone. Is this better?
Yeah, we can hear you better.
Yeah, it's my headphones. Like, they're good for music, not great for taking calls. Like, I get that, but like, you're trying to solve it on the policy side. You need to solve it on the culture side too. And I do believe that there are guys out there. It just allowed them like kind of fall into like these same patterns. Because like I'll be honest, I used to be like a fucking jackass in high school, but I feel like I'm a different person now. And a lot of my experiences shaped the way I became. And why I advocate for like rights for everybody.
Can I ask just how you advocate, out of curiosity?
Huh?
I'm curious, like, how do you advocate?
I don't go out and like shout it out in the street. Mostly it's just like when someone asks me what I believe in, I say I believe that everybody should have rights. So I'm not going out there and fighting, but that's what you're asking.
Okay. So you're not advocating, you're just giving your opinion to people that are willing to have a conversation with you, basically. You're not really advocating. You're not really publicly speaking or using a platform or doing anything. Okay.
Yeah.
So using the word advocate is kind of disingenuous.
I also just really I don't think men are harmed by sexism, by systemic sexism. I think men are harmed by classism, but I don't believe men are harmed by any sort of systemic sexist things because the people perpetrating the harm against men are men. So therefore, it wouldn't be like it wouldn't be a gender-based harm. I think typically I would say men are harmed by toxic masculinity, but that would be a vastly different thing when I'm talking about like the need for feminism or womanism and the need to protect women from like a systemically sexist society.
And what I'm saying is that like you need to work on that angle too. You need to work on making sure men don't fall into those toxic patterns.
Sure, but we're not talking about toxic masculinity today.
Like she advocates for like a holistic approach, and I'm down with that.
Sure, that's just not what we're talking about today.
I get that. Well, I'm about to head into work today, so
and to center men in this conversation.
What's up? Sorry, I'm about to head into work today. It was great talking to both of you. Have a great day.
4 of us, but okay. Alina, your mic is like going quiet and then loud and then quiet and then loud. So we're missing like the first part of what you're saying. Okay.
I think Hoodrich would like to come up and say something, but I'm not on my backup account. I have an interesting comment.
You think they're going to be brave enough? They usually aren't. Can I make you a mod? I don't know if I can.
Have timeouts on Tuesday, so I'm not gonna be on this account too much for too much longer.
All right. Got you. Okay, let's open up the call-in line. Maybe we'll get another. The YouTube callers are the ones that are going to call in. Oh, well, maybe. They're also scared. So, oh, here we go. Hello, are you here to have a... Oh, guess not. Okay. All right. Hello, are you here to have a conversation? Hello.
Hey, I was just trying to call into a YouTube channel.
Yeah. You. What's your name, age, and pronouns?
My name's Brennan. I'm 31, and he.
All right.
Male, cis male.
And what is your take on the topics on the background?
I'd say like one, the USA hates women. I don't know that I'd fully agree with that. The main one for me is I'm a father too. Got a matriarch wife. She kind of runs the house. But I wouldn't say that I need her to be my maid, my mother, or my nanny. We're partners, and we both own a business, and we're very much a team. So that's one that I didn't really agree with.
All right. I mean, I'm going to let the women mostly do the talking here. So go ahead, ladies.
When you said matriarchal, I don't know what you mean by that. Like, so does she run the house? You don't have it, or is it...
I would say that her opinion matters most. She's made great decisions over the years, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, I appreciate that you view your relationship as a partnership. I think that's how you should view it as. I view mine as the same way. But that's not the prompt. The prompt isn't saying you as an individual hate women. It's saying the United States as a whole hates women.
Right, and I don't know that I agree that, because I mean, I work with a lot of men. I mean, mostly with the majority of the people I work with in the industry I work with it's mostly men, and most of the men I work with, they actually have much more of a say in their household than I do. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think that most men want that. A lot of times women end up becoming that. The mother, the maid, the nanny.
Yeah. So your argument is that men that you associate with have the opposite perspective as you do, kind of, I don't know, confirming that.
Yeah, sometimes I'm trying to tell them, like, hey, you should let your woman lead a little more. You should let her be more of a partner and not. But what I'm saying, though, is they don't want mothers, nannies, and maids, really.
Right. But like, we live in a country where like women are denied. We live in a country where women are denied access to things like healthcare and, equal pay. We're not believed in situations where we're assaulted. In fact, if we're assaulted, we get re-victimized multiple times. Like, we have to go to the hospital and be re-victimized to get a grape kit. Then we have to go in front of police and basically be interrogated and questioned as if we're the ones that are on trial. And then if we actually have the ability to take it to court, that is further exasperated. So, like, to pretend like the country as a whole is harmful towards women versus men is kind of the point of this.
Also, I just want to mention, women are putting in double the household labor hours than men are, more than double. Women are on average putting in 49 minutes per day of household chores, while men are only doing 19 minutes per day of household chores. So there's just like.
Yeah, but I mean, we can't go by averages, because there's extremes on both sides. And like in my house, I would say 50% of the chores, if not more, because I work from home.
Wait, this is why you would
and
use averages.
I cook 3 meals a day. You know, that's what I'm just saying. It's not
really quickly, because there are extremes. That's why we use the average.
But I'm
to
an
weed out
extreme,
the
though,
extremes.
because I have a lot of people that I'm around that kind of similar way. My father-in-law, he's the only one that's ever touched a pan in the house. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just there's a lot of people. It just depends on what echo chamber you live in. I mean, I wouldn't say there's a generalization over the country, because I live in a pretty liberal area, and there's a lot of people that like treat their household how I do. But I consider myself more conservative, you know. But I agree with, like, I don't know what the girl's name was that was just speaking, but, you know, it is really messed up with the sexual assault stuff. And I have a daughter, I have a wife, and I tend to believe women first. And I think most of the men I'm around do, but it does suck that women have to be victimized multiple times after they've already been victimized once.
So just a fun fact, I'm 43 years old, so I'm very much not a girl. I have 3 daughters, though. My name's Jess, by the way. I'm very confused. Did you just, in passing, you said you were conservative. Am I to assume that you vote conservatively?
No, because I really don't even vote.
Jesus, okay.
The only time I really vote is for my local elections. But then I didn't mean to cut you off.
So you don't wait. You don't.
No
You didn't
offense.
vote. Okay, so you don't care about women then.
How is that?
Because women's rights were on the ballot.
I said I vote for local elections. I vote for local elections. And I didn't say what I voted for.
Here's the thing, though. Like, in this conversation, you've centered you and your experience, which is something that Alina so eloquently pointed out about the last person. And then when we're having a conversation about the country and, you know, systemic oppression of women, the one thing that you could do on an individual basis that would take maybe an hour of your time once a year, you choose not to participate in.
That's why I vote for local elections. I do. And at the local level, you don't know what I voted for. I voted for women's rights. I voted for for their choice.
Yeah. But Roe was overturned because of a national election. Like, Trump putting those judges in was
president, though. Wasn't Joe Biden the president when that happened?
Friend.
I mean, again, I didn't vote towards, you know.
Okay.
Abortion.
I'll explain. I'll explain it to you. So Joe Biden was president when it was overturned, but it was overturned by the Supreme Court. He did not have a say in it. And the Supreme Court was made up of 3 additional judges that Trump appointed while he was in office that lied under oath, saying that Roe was settled law. And then when the right case came before them, they overturned it. So this all happened because of a national election.
Right. And from what I've been told by the media, every time I voted, I've tried to vote towards women having their rights. So, I mean, I'm doing what I can, what I know.
Did he mention
media
who
tells
he
me
voted
what
for
I'm
in
supposed to vote
2016?
for, right?
He said he doesn't vote.
What's that?
You've never voted in a national, so you never voted in a national election?
This year I did for the first time.
When?
What's that?
This year?
Yeah, this year, November something. I don't remember the date.
You just said.
Did you vote for the president?
Early.
Did you vote for the president?
Yeah, this year I did.
Who did you vote for?
RFK.
Jesus H. Christ.
RFK dropped out.
And he's running with Trump, who is literally the reason women don't have rights.
He's not running with them. He endorsed him. There's a difference.
Sir, no. He got a phone call from Trump. I have the video on my page. He got a phone call from Trump he called Trump after the pew attempt, the first one in Butler. And literally, Trump told him, you just gotta step down. I can give you everything you want. He literally bought him. He bought him with the HHS appointment.
But that has nothing to do with Feminist Friday. This is what I'm saying. That y'all go back. Y'all say you want to talk about it. My point was, men don't want wives, maids, mothers, nannies, and you guys are trying to like tell me that I'm wrong because
the only evidence you've given, the only evidence you've given is because I don't act that way.
Yeah,
so you came up here for a cookie.
Men that I know don't act that way.
I bet the men do act that way. You just don't clock it. Guaranteed.
Not even that. He said earlier the men do. He literally said men have different roles in their home than he does, after claiming he's some very like feminist role in his house. So you're lying in this very conversation.
I don't have a feminist role in the house at all. That's not what I said. I said that my wife typically runs the house and she does take the role of those things, but that's not what I want. That's what I said. Men don't want that.
Wait. You don't want. Wait. So I'm so confused. You have kind of really talked circles. So are you saying that you, in your home, are you the one that is doing laundry and getting the kids up and dressed for school, or getting them up and ready every day and making meals and doing all of these things, or is your wife?
I cook like 2 to 3 meals a day, depending on what my wife does. But typically, yes, I get the kids ready. I do everything that she needs help with.
So what is your wife's role? What's your wife's role? Because you keep saying she runs the house. I don't know what that means. What do you mean she runs the house?
She, balances the checkbook. She pays the bills. She makes sure that the lights stay on.
So she mothers you. So she's like your mother. So she you went from your house.
No.
Wait. You went from your house under your mother and father, I assume, to another house where someone else is still doing all of these financial roles, so you don't have to worry about it or understand the complication and frustration of those roles. Because I was in a former marriage that also did that. I did everything. I took the trash out. I mowed.
I never had a dad.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. So you grew up in an environment where the mom did everything.
We grew up really poor in Louisiana, and I took the boots and I got out the house.
Okay.
And I made a living for my family.
Okay.
I provide. Don't get it twisted. My wife is not my mother.
So but the problem, you're not understanding what I'm saying. So I was previously married. I was married for 13 years.
Whatever I'm saying, whatever is said, you're going to just disagree with it.
No. That's not it. I'm pointing out the fact that your wife is doing all of the heavy lifting when it comes to making financial decisions, balancing a checkbook.
She's not though.
Oh my God, you just said she balances a checkbook. So do you do that, or does she do that?
We do it together, but she's the one that actually physically gets it done. She talks to me and asks me what I think about the money. She asks me how do I think we should approach where we should allocate our money. But she's the one that physically does it. Doesn't mean that she's carrying the heavy weight all the time. I think what you guys want is a dysfunctional house in most people's house, and what I'm trying to tell you guys is that I don't think many
Sir,
houses,
I'm happily married with 3 kids. I don't need you to tell me what I want. Look, the problem is you're voting for a political party that is literally disenfranchising and subjugating women in multiple fractions of this country in different ways to try to create an environment that we have to depend on men again, like we did. Let me ask you a question. What year was it that a woman, wait, I want you to answer this question because I'm genuinely curious. What year was it in this country that a woman could open her own small business or business in general without the signature of a man? Do you know what year that was?
It was like the 80s, I think. It's like 82 or something.
1980.
Pretty recently.
In fact, 88. 88. I was 7. So do you find it interesting that as me, a 43-year-old woman who's still pretty relatively young?
Not a thing. Now,
oh my God.
And that's the thing. So I'm in industrial sales. I run a territory. I sell into major manufacturers in the country.
I don't care what you do for a living.
And not that
you're missing the point.
Say I'm smart or anything. I'm around a lot of people.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You're not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're just rambling. I don't care what you do for a living. No, you're just rambling. None of this has to do with the conversation. The point that I'm trying to make is, if we live in an environment that less than 40 years ago I could not own my own business without the access of a man. And we see
right, okay, yeah,
politicians
that's what I was trying to tell
roll.
you, though. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Okay.
Is yes, you were right. That was a thing, but now it's not. And actually,
You don't let me finish.
as I go to Chamber of Commerce events and stuff,
okay.
Women get extra credit for being a minority or a woman
No,
business-owned
they
entity,
don't.
and they get
Don't
preferential
actually.
treatment
They
in
don't
bids for
actually.
construction. Yes, they do.
Can I
How
just
do you know
finish my
that? How do
statement?
you? How are you aware of that?
Oh, because first of all, I used to
How
own
are
my
you
own
aware
small
of that?
business. But secondly, can I finish
Here
my
comes the misogyny.
statement? I'm literally telling you that you voted for a man that has aligned himself with the party that wants to roll back laws that would take us back to a position where we need men like we did in 1988, like we did in 1970 when it came to open your own checking account. You're not listening to the full statement and ramifications of my words. You're saying that's not now, but you're voting and supporting a party that wants it to be now. They want us to have, they're in Texas Republicans are trying to introduce laws to remove no-fault divorce so that women cannot walk away from marriages with like just because they want to, because they may have a variety of reasons. There's states like Mississippi that if you're pregnant and married, even if you're being physically abused, you can't get divorced because you're pregnant. You have to wait till the child is born. Like, dude,
What about like
you
in
not
Louisiana,
acknowledging
where I'm
outside of your
from, and
bubble?
you can't leave your wife
I don't
without
care
giving
where
her
you're
half of your money,
from.
but also that's what you just said. Texas. That is where you're from.
I'm not in
pointing out
Texas. I was
echo
telling you the
chambers,
Texas
and I'm
law. I
pointing
live
out
in
an echo chamber.
I was pointing out laws in other states that are
Right, but I'm
arbitrarily
pointing out a law
targeting
that I was in the state that
women.
I was in that affected a man, and that's what I'm saying. It's funny to me that
Wait,
you only
wait, so
see
you
one
have a
side,
problem?
and
You
I'm
have a
very
problem
open-minded.
with
I'm trying to see both
what is,
sides.
oh my God. What is the
I'm trying to see
difference?
both sides.
What is the
I'm
difference
asking
between,
you to see both sides.
no, you're not. No, you're not, because I'm trying to talk to you and you just keep rambling. So what is the difference between you being in a committed relationship that you decide to go your separate ways for whatever reason, whether it be an affair, you've just outgrown each other, whatever the case may be, okay? And you are
Right.
fiscally
Okay.
responsible for a certain amount of time because of the fact that when you were married, your wife and you came to like a lifestyle that you had to provide for, especially if you have children. First of all, alimony is not required. Alimony is something that is decided by the courts, and if you appeal, you ask for it, and it has to be proven that it's needed. Child support is required, and if you're in a committed relationship where you had children together, that's a choice. I believe that if you have, let's say, a one-night stand and someone gets pregnant and they decide to keep the baby, I do believe that you should be able to give up your parental rights if you don't want to be a parent because you did not go into that relationship with the concept of having a baby. That's something you as a male need to fight for, okay? It's something that I state in public. But that's not the same thing as you having a financial responsibility to a relationship that you intentionally committed to and got married into. That's different.
But what I don't understand is how did this change from, we were talking about small business in that women and minority business owners get preferential treatment in bids on large construction jobs. How did that change to divorce? And also with the divorce thing,
it didn't change. I'm the one that brought up the no-fault divorce, and you're the one that pivoted to the business.
Hold on, you talk about interrupting. You guys talk about interrupting. You were talking about a state that you didn't live in. You said Texas. You say you live in Virginia, whatever. I brought up Louisiana because that is a state that I was from. Now I live in Michigan again. Like I said, I've moved around some. And the funny thing to me is you're talking about women can't leave. In Louisiana, you have to stay with your wife for a year, no matter what the terms are. And then in most cases, you still have to pay child support when the whole time she could be having an affair or harming your kids or whatever the case is. The woman will still get the child.
You don't have to stay with them.
Half of your...
You don't have to stay with them. That's a lie. You don't have to stay with them. You can't get to...
Have you ever lived in Louisiana?
I live in Virginia.
Have you ever lived in Louisiana?
Sir, the law is same in Virginia.
But that's what I'm saying.
You have to...
But you're talking about Texas.
You want me to answer you? Do you want me to answer you? The law that you just outlined is the same in Virginia. It doesn't mean you stay together. It means they want you to take a full year to ensure that the divorce is sound because that children are involved. You can still be legally separated during that year. You can still go into other relationships. You don't have to live with anybody.
Somebody with a lot of money.
How?
because if you're still legally married, there's still things that you're legally obligated to financially as being
That's
legally
false.
married.
Actually, you can put stipulations in place with your legal counsel. That's false. I actually have a friend here in Virginia, again, same law, the year that you have to wait if you have children, and he literally separated their financial stuff so that she couldn't access his paychecks. You don't even know. Have you been divorced in Louisiana, or are you just citing things because you think you know what you're talking about?
No, I mean, my best friend did. I mean, you're right. I've been in a 10-year marriage, so I haven't had to worry about that yet. But
well, that was a telling.
Yeah, because I was teeing that up for you because I'm sure you're going to tell me how terrible I am and how I deserve everything.
I'm not saying you're terrible. I'm not saying I don't know you. I don't know you.
Well, but that's the thing is it's just the circling around and like just my thing was the maids, mother, nannies, and then again like it's just every time that you don't get the point across the way you want it to come across, you change it to something else, you get loud, and then you get upset, and then the conversation just kind of dies.
Where did I get loud or upset? I'm not whining. I'm not crying in the chat. Like literally I'm trying to stay on task, and you have pivoted every single time. And it's the fact that you've said one thing at the beginning of this conversation, and then you changed the way you presented it. You said at the beginning of the conversation, you know men that don't have roles in my house. And then you said, my wife's the head of the household. And then when I pushed on that, you said, well, she balances a checkbook and does this. And then when I said, so she basically is kind of like your mother went from that role because you, like you said, she was widowed and she had to take on the role of taking on the house and taking care of the kids. So you saw that is the role of the woman. And then you married a woman, and now that has become her responsibility in your own marriage. And that is very real. My ex-husband did the exact same thing.
You're just assuming that because I moved out the first time when I was 17 years old.
I'm going based on what you shared with me, sir. I'm sharing what you shared with me. I'm not assuming anything.
No.
I'm going based on what you shared in this conversation.
My father and my mother taking care of me to my wife taking care of me, and I'm saying that that's not true.
How is that not true? Are you saying your mom did not take care of you? Did your mom not keep a house over your head, make sure you remained fed?
Actually, my grandmother did because she was too drunk to do it. My grandmother did.
Okay, so you had another matriarch. So you had a different matriarch that stepped into that role. Isn't it funny how your own personal story is showing how women are constantly having to step up and do right for others, and yet men are given so many.
Is that women have to? Women have to so many times.
Why? Why do you think that is? Wait, why do you think that is? Wait,
a lot of men
you have literal men on the internet with millions of followers telling women that they are nothing more than a rotating toy.
Because that's an extreme.
Are you familiar with the red pill community?
That's not every man.
That's not an extreme.
That's not every man.
That's not an extreme. That's not an extreme. People literally the red pill movement has overlapped with the conservative movement. That's why you see a huge shift with young incels right now.
Really quickly, I'll be right back.
Who am I speaking to right now?
Alina's in charge.
Who am I speaking to so I can address you? I didn't mean to call you a girl earlier.
Go ahead, Alina.
Well, none of us would be called girls because you have to be over 18 to be on TikTok Live. So.
Right, I know. I said one got offended earlier, so I didn't mean to say that. I'm saying, who am I speaking with? I don't see any names. I don't know who I'm talking to.
You were speaking to Jess. I'm Alina, and then No Reds. No Reds is also here.
Yeah, I mean, again, though, the same thing with the red pill. It's the media. It's what do you do for a living?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, what do you do for a living?
I'm a marketer.
I work in a public school and running for political office at the state level.
No, I work from home.
Yeah. So most of what you're talking to in personal conversation is from the computer, right?
No. Just for this last year, or not even year. I've only been here 6 months. But you don't think that that conversations that we have every day online are the same as conversations in person? Are you saying you're a different person online?
Yeah, I think everybody's a little bit different online. I mean,
I'm not.
I think most people put their best image
I'm
forward.
No, I'm not.
I mean, most people don't lead with
I'm
like
an
the worst
absolute
parts of
menace.
themselves.
I'm an absolute menace online, just like I am in person. But
I
the
bet.
difference is that when, you know, I host my own lives, I put my face out there, and that's the difference. So maybe people that are like hiding behind a fake profile or whatever, maybe they're acting different, but I would think to say that they're just acting the way that they wish that they could act in person. So when they call me a see you next Tuesday, or they make fun of my teal colored hair, or they tell me that I need a nose job or that I'm overweight or whatever, it's just them basically saying what they wish that they could say to people in real life. And that's why they hide.
Right. But that's what I'm saying though. And that's why, and that's what I'm getting at is like, if you were in the real world, most people wouldn't come up to you and tell you that you're overweight or tell you those
But they
mean
still
things
think
to you.
it.
Like,
That's the problem. You don't see it a problem that they still think it, and they feel comfortable to sell. The internet does not.
People
Don't say that the internet gives them a
don't really
pass.
normally feel. I think that the internet's making people feel different than how they truly feel and act different than how they truly act. I think that
No,
most
they just
people
know
lead
that
with
if they
good
said it to
intentions in
someone's
the real
face,
world.
that they're gonna f around and find out. Because if someone said that to my face, that they'd be on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, same. And like I said, I mean, and this is my YouTube channel. This is I've commented my YouTube channel in there. I'm trying to be my genuine self. I have my videos are my daughter and me playing music. I mean, that's my good intention to the world, is to hopefully inspire people to be good parents and good fathers, But I'm just saying, I don't think that the real world is always like this. I think that so much of this is an echo chamber of the internet.
I think you're very disconnected from the real world. Personally,
I'm disconnected from the world.
As someone who, I do. I work in public education. I work in a school, and I'm around people and adults and children every day. And then I also ran for political office last year, and I'm running next year. Okay.
I coach high school baseball.
Okay, great. I ran for political office. Wait, sir. I knocked. Pause. So I've knocked 6,000 doors by myself last year and had conversations with people on the ground in my community. Have you done that?
I picked up the phone and called countless people because I'm a salesman. I talked to I don't know how many people walking the floor and plants.
Selling something and having genuine conversations. Wait. You're trying to compare calling people to sell them a product.
Men.
Oh my God.
I talked to all kind of people.
Do you know how to pause?
I talk to way more actual people than you.
What I would
talk to internet people. You talk to people trying to argue.
Absolutely do not.
You talk to political.
I knocked 6,000.
You're literally going to people that are trying to divide.
What I want to know
running
is why.
for office is another way to divide people. I'm talking about ways to bring people together. You just want to divide people.
Yes.
That's what running for office is.
Yes. I know you hear me. Two things. If you are making then this is a genuine thing. If you're making videos with your daughter, please make sure you're blurring her face. At the very minimum, because it's a horrible effed up world, especially with like AI and deepfakes and stuff. That's
I mean, I appreciate that. The like button hidden over her face in the videos. So thank you for.
Okay.
It's not a bad thought, but appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's 100% genuine because there's crazy stuff out there. The other thing I wanted to ask is how come when I'm speaking you get quiet, you're quiet and you listen to me, and then when Jess speaks you get combative and you like overtalk her? Anyone else notice that?
She told me that being in running for political office means that she knows what people think better. But again, that's what I said.
I literally knocked 6,000 doors and had. No, it's not. Wait, do you understand that running for office, I knocked doors of every political affiliation. I knocked Republican doors. I knocked Democrat doors. I knocked independent doors. I knocked doors that had never walked into a ballot box a day in their life. I had genuine conversations about policy. I didn't go in there and go, I'm this party affiliation, vote for me. I was knocking on doors because I live in my community. I've lived here my entire life. Again, I've lived here my entire life, and I'm offering something to my community to be a good representative of them. I don't go into a door and say, I'm aligning with every Democratic policy. I'm aligning with every Republican policy. I don't do that. I don't do division. You're making an assumption about me. I'm going to have a more quality conversation with a complete stranger at their door as a political candidate. By the way, many political candidates don't dare knock doors. It's very rare for them to knock, let alone 100 doors, let alone 6,000. But I'm having far more genuine conversations about real issues than you ever did selling whatever the hell you're selling and peddling over the phone.
No, that's
Be so for real right now.
You don't know that though, Jess. You don't know that.
What do you sell? What are you
You're the one
selling?
making an assumption.
What are you selling?
I sell industrial supplies. I walk into manufacturing plants with thousands of employees. One of my biggest customers is a battery manufacturer in West Michigan. They employ 4,000 people. And I walk the floor and I will speak to every single person that I encounter.
Can hear you. He just doesn't know how to shut up. Okay. I hear you. Yes, I hear you.
Hi. So we actually haven't had a conversation yet. But I just want to point out something to you. When you're having a conversation about policy and running for office and having discussions with people about things that can and will impact their everyday life, that is drastically different than selling a service or a product. Drastically different. Like these things are not the same. They're not analogous at all.
Exactly. And I agree. And that's why I'm saying I think it's irrelevant to bring up, because if you're speaking policy when you're talking to these people,
sir, she is really having those conversations. I can just talk louder than you. She is having those conversations with people about the things that she wants to change to improve their lives. And I'm not talking about a product or a service. I'm talking about legislation that stops discrimination, legislation that removes people's bodily autonomy. That is extremely different, extremely different. So because you're personable, that does not mean that you are having these conversations and understand the wants and needs of the people outside of the products you're selling them.
But that's what I'm saying is what you're not understanding is I'm not selling anything to these people because I've already got their business. I'm saying when I sell to a client, I supply all of their needs. I make sure that they have everything that they need. I do their inventory for them.
What does that have to do with me having? What does that have to do? What does that have to do with the fact that
you're just getting loud? You're not letting me finish.
No, you're ignoring what I'm saying.
You're just getting loud again.
No. Listen, I'm not lying.
You're getting loud again. You're interrupting.
Because you don't know when to.
Because what you're not doing is listening. I'm saying I work with all these people.
I am listening.
I sit and I talk to them, and we have conversations every day about all these policies.
Okay.
And what I'm
so
saying
you're telling me you talk
this right here. Hold on.
Oh my God.
It is not
the majority
the same
of their
thing. Here's why.
people
Okay.
don't hate their neighbor.
I've worked with medical device salespeople. They come and they schmooze you.
Oh, you're awesome.
I don't talk to them about Roe v. Wade. They bring me sandwiches and pens and
wait,
ask
hold
me
on.
if they like the product. Like I don't think you understand.
Rads, I used to work in medical device sales. What are we doing? What are we talking about?
It's getting irrelevant.
Him being a sales rep.
I'm
speaking. He's trying to say that him working in sales and going and speaking to the people who work for the companies he sells products to is the same thing as just being a political candidate and talking to people about the issues that are impacting them and policy. He's trying to say that those are the same thing.
That's dumb.
Let me explain. I was making the point because he said I told him he's out of touch with everyday people and what's really affecting them at the heart of things. That's what I was trying to point out to. And he said, I talk to people. I said, I work in a public school, so I'm talking to people in that realm, but I also ran for office. And I made the point of saying, I knocked more than 6,000 doors last year. That doesn't even count the doors I lost this year for the other candidates running. But I knocked more than 6,000 doors, and I'm having in-depth conversations with these people about the things that impact them and what they want to see change at the state level as a candidate. And he's saying, I do the same thing with literally trying to make a correlation that he's having more detail and has a better understanding of the everyday man. You absolutely have implied that your conversations as a salesperson.
Real people, and I'm saying that I work with real people daily, day in and day out.
That doesn't mean that you're having the same conversations of. That does not mean that you're having the same quality conversations.
Wait, do you recognize that like when a politician is like campaigning and they're having questions with people, their questions are going to usually be about like what's wrong in their lives, what needs to be changed, how they feel about XYZ. I worked sales for years. I never asked, you don't ask people that shit. You just ask whatever you need to sell the product. Please stop. This is just disingenuous.
That's not it though. I don't sell products. I sell. Once I sell a service, I work for the client now.
You sell a
So
lifestyle?
I am working with them. I'm talking to them about what's their problem. That's literally what sales is finding a problem and solving it for their work. But then once I'm their client, I want to find out what motivates them, so that way I can help them do their job. I mean, I'm saying I'm talking to a lot of people day in and day out.
Motivating.
Real world things.
Let me ask you a question. What conversation would you be having with these individuals that would lead you to talk about their bodily autonomy rights being stripped? In your sales of industrial
that I would not talk about. You're right.
Oh, you wouldn't? Oh, you wouldn't?
Right. I wouldn't talk about that.
What in your conversations every day as you sell, you said industrial equipment, would lead you to talk about the crippling education system and how it's inadequately funded at the state and federal level? What in your conversation, your daily life, would you end up talking about that? How would that fit into your conversation?
A lot of people I talk to, we talk about money, and we talk about like how that nobody has financial literacy, and it's sad, and that we, But
what does financial literacy have to do with the education system as a whole?
Because that's what
I'm talking about the education system as a whole. Okay, let me ask you this: what conversations are you having selling your industrial equipment, talking about the housing crisis? How does that conversation come into play during the housing crisis as you're selling industrial equipment to basically corporations that don't give a shit about housing?
A lot of us are homeowners, and we chat about like what our properties are doing and. Like,
what does that have to do with houselessness? Are you houseless? Right. What does that have to do with the housing crisis? What? Right. So you have houses and you're talking to other people that have jobs and houses. So how are you addressing the housing crisis by talking to other people that own homes?
That's not my job. It's not my job to fix it.
No
You're
shit.
just saying that I'm out of touch with it, that I don't have conversations.
Thank you. Right. I said you're out of touch
with
the needs and
Did you
wants.
Get elected?
I missed it by 667 votes by 35,000 cast as a first-time candidate against an incumbent who was the Republican chair.
You didn't get elected. It's not.
It is going to be my job come 2025.
Elected, so
wait. Do you understand that a first-time candidate's likelihood of winning is incredibly low? And yet, in my district.
It's not my job.
No. In my district.
It's not my job to. And it's not yours either because you didn't win.
It is my job. I'm running for office. It is my job.
You are terrible. The other two ladies are very nice and have great conversation. Jess, you are awful. You are terrible.
Okay. Way to prove the background, friend.
I'm terrible because I'm pointing to the fact that as someone who ran for...
You are terrible.
What just happened? Awful. Where did Alina and Norats go?
We tried to talk about the list on the background, and you want to talk about how great you are. You are terrible.
I'm talking about how great I am? No, I'm talking about the fact that you don't understand real world issues with everyday citizens.
We don't need the misogyny today, bro. We really don't. We really don't need the misogyny today at all.
I do want to say that if you're friendly in requests and you are a man, not only will I drop you, but I will berate the shit out of you. So get out of requests. It's Feminist Friday. Thanks.
I do just want to say thank you to the people that donated during that. So thank you, Borrelia, for the Venmo. Thank you, Laren, for the Venmo. Said, Reed, Ratchet Jack, my trans household loves you. Dope. And then Beverly, I saw you donate to Kick, but we don't do the pay to Kicks during the morning live. So if you want, I can refund that back. Just let me know.
Well, I kind of told them, and I told people in the chat.
Oh. Well, I mean, I did kick them, so Beverly, just let me know. Yeah, let me know if you want. I don't mind sending that back if you want that back. I just listen. I was listening to that from the other room, and I just think it's pretty disingenuous when men can't handle being called out on things at all. So, what's up, Tamia?
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
I'm dying.
That was. Oh God, I'm sorry. Have some tea. Drink some ginger tea. It's your friend.
It's post nasal. My phlegm keeps dripping to the back of my throat.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, okay.
You guys want me to open up
Yeah,
the YouTube?
there was a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great. I do want to say, I just felt like he was being disingenuous from like the very beginning of the conversation, because he went from saying I didn't vote to, yeah, I voted. I voted for RFK. I feel like at that point he really just was like, he wanted to see how far he could take the conversation. I don't think there was a genuine like thing in there. I also think that like for anybody else who's like looking to call in or um you know, come and have a conversation, whether you do it on TikTok or like through the YouTube, can you please just talk about like the issues that are presented and not yourself? Thanks.
Yeah, he just wanted a cookie.
You wanted a cookie. I love it.
Hello, are you here to have a conversation?
Hey, yep. How you guys doing?
We're chilling. Can I just get your age, name, age, and pronouns?
Sean, 38, don't use pronouns.
Yeah, you do. Can you just give me your pronouns, please?
No, I'm just a dude. I'm a guy.
So you use pronouns, you use he, him pronouns.
No, I don't use pronouns.
I is a pronoun.
All right, so on the first topic, U.S. hates women.
No. Hold on. No.
Go with that.
Can I ask you a question? If I drove up to you in a Honda, and I said, "Yo, I don't drive cars," what would you say to me?
That you don't drive cars.
If I was in a Honda and I drove up next to you and I looked you in the face and said, "I do not drive cars," while you're looking at me driving a Honda, what would you say to me?
Okay, well, you're obviously driving a car.
Okay, so when you look me in the face and you say, "I don't use pronouns," while using a pronoun, just seems a little ridiculous.
Name, so
I is a pronoun.
I don't mind people who use pronouns. I'll respect that somebody's like, hey, my pronouns this and that. Okay, cool. I just don't use them. So same respect, like, okay, hey, he doesn't use pronouns.
To say that
you just said he doesn't use pronouns.
You just used 5 pronouns in that sentence. You used 5 pronouns in that sentence alone.
So on to the topic. So when you guys say U.S. hates women...
Before we do the topic, I have to do a commercial break. So hold on. I'm going to put you on hold until the commercial break is over. It's commercial break time, guys. Remember, this is the Morning Manifesto. I'm Jovan Bradley, your host of the morning show. Welcome into today's Morning Manifesto Live. I hope you're having a great day, everybody. Remember, we do have a merch store. So if you go to jovanbradley.com, you can purchase merch from my merch store. My merch store is great, and all the merch is designed by people in our community, and it looks great. Like and share the live. So if you're watching, especially on TikTok, like and share the live. It's how we stay on the FYP. It's how we get our stuff out there. So hit that like and share button. Here's our class schedule for the week. So remember, today is Feminist Friday. We will not have another show until Monday, where we're back with Anti-MAGA Monday. But today is Feminist Friday, so we are prioritizing femme voices in the chat. Remember, you can support the show. Cash App and Venmo are down here on the screen or over on the side. We have a tip goal. We're almost halfway to our halfway point. So if you want to support the show, do that. Remember to gift the panelists, especially Alina. If you're on TikTok, gifting people in the live does get the live on the FYP a little bit more. So remember to gift the panelists. I don't know that I spelled especially right, but I tried. Remember, there is a toy drive. These are all the toys we have so far gotten from the toy drive. So if you want to do the toy drive, Linktree in my bio, there's a link to an Amazon list. You can do the toy drive. All the toys are going to children in need. So thank you guys so much for watching the stream. Now back to the guest. All right, go ahead.
All righty. So on the first topic, going to say the U.S. hates women. I think that one is like very far-fetched. If you look anywhere in the Middle East and see what women's rights have over there, is absolutely zero. They do not have a right to vote, do not have the right to own a car, own a house, own a business, do not have the right
overseas,
to
like
talk
Iceland?
against their husbands, do not have a right to do anything. Will be objectified through sex, through anything.
Wait, guess you said,
I'm sorry.
Guess you said women don't have rights overseas. Like where? Like Iceland?
It's a Middle East, like Iraq, Iran.
Oh, I thought you said overseas.
Oh no, I said Middle East.
So I'm sorry. Does the
So a lot of
topic say Middle
countries
East hates
say
women?
women don't have as many rights. So to say the U.S.
Great.
hates
Does
women,
the topic say Middle East hates women? I'm just curious before we continue.
and to say all of the Middle East, no.
Okay, but I'm just saying, does the topic on the piece on the screen that you called into say Middle East hates women?
It says USA hates women, so I'm using the Middle East
Right.
as
So
an
why are we
example.
discussing the Middle East? This isn't a football game? Why are we what you want to figure out which one's worse? I mean, another country having deplorable policy against women doesn't change this state and country having deplorable policy against women.
Okay, so tell me how the U.S. hates women.
Are you being for real?
If a woman was just running for president, how does the U.S. hate women? If a woman was
Cool. Did she
currently
win?
vice president, how
Wait,
does
did
the
she
U.S. hate
win?
women?
But did she win?
Did she win?
It doesn't matter if she won or if she didn't. I mean, that's
It does
America,
matter.
right?
It does
Sometimes
matter.
you win, sometimes
Because
you don't.
look,
But how does
her opponent
the U.S. hate
on the
women?
ballot with her was a man who was held liable for actually, and I do mean actually, essaying a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And they still said, that's the guy. That's the guy we want. That one right there. This one. This
My
is
man, my man, my man, they said.
That's what they were claiming. They did that repeatedly. They are also trying to put people in charge who, I don't know, maybe want to end no-fault divorces. Do you know what that does? Do you know who that primarily affects? Are you aware of why that was even put into effect in the first place?
Okay, tell me you're still not giving me examples, specific examples.
Oh,
And
sure, because
besides,
that wasn't
okay, say
enough.
besides
Wasn't
Kamala,
enough.
give me an example how the U.S. hates women.
Kamala. Her
What
name's
laws are in
Kamala.
place
And
that women do
again,
not
you
have the
just
right as men?
yeah. Okay. So abortion access, reproductive care, the fact that women are more likely to die in states that have abortion bans on the books, and maternal mortality and infant mortality has skyrocketed in those states, and that we have women literally bleeding out in parking lots or being sent home that are going through a miscarriage and being told to come back when it gets worse, and then only to die or pass it on their own and then be facing criminal charges. Like those things are one example of many.
Okay, and that's all done by state because every single state has the right to vote on their own
Why
abortion
is it
rights.
allowed? Wait. So you think that do you think my rights to my own body should depend on where I live geographically in a single nation?
No, but that's a fact. That's
I
not
mean, do
my
your
personal
rights
opinion.
change if you cross do your rights change as a man if you cross a border of a state?
No.
Mine
Well,
do.
depending what
So
rights
why is that?
how specific you want to get down to, but again, it's
No, it would be a
What
done by
right.
the
rights?
state.
No,
It's
Wait,
not
it
tell
would
my
be.
me.
It would
personal
have to be a
opinion.
right dependent. It would have to be a right dependent on you being a man.
Correct. So what right is it as a
Sure.
man that you would go into another state and lose that right? And what right are we discussing?
None specifically that I can really think of.
Because there isn't any.
But I'm still trying to
So
get back
unlike
to the topic
you,
of like
myself,
where the U.S.
this is
hates
the
women.
topic. You just
Like,
asked what policy. I'm telling you a policy. If I go get next, I'm in Virginia. I am the only southern state in the South that still has reproductive access fully available. If I go next door to any of my southern neighbors, Florida, Mississippi, Tennessee, Texas, as a pregnant woman during any stage of my pregnancy from 6 weeks on, I am at risk of dying in those states because of the arbitrary laws that exist, because they decide to tie the hands of healthcare providers solely based on a misconception that their voting populace allowed to happen through Trump's presidency.
so you're saying that automatically qualifies the U.S. as hating women?
Yes. The Supreme Court, the highest court, told every state they have the right to arbitrarily strip me of rights based on my geographical location. Yes.
But also, we just need to remember that like this whole "it went back to the states" thing is not true. It's just
It
not
is not
true.
true. That was not the
Right?
decision.
If we're saying the states get to make the decision, who would the state gets to make the decision? The people living in the states or the state legislature separate of the people that live in the states?
obviously just be state legislators. Obviously, the state legislators don't listen to the people of the state.
Yeah, this would be
as I've seen here in California or other places.
So we just want big government to dictate what we do with our bodies.
But it still doesn't prove the fact how the United States hates women. That's a bold statement.
Have women died? Have women died in Texas?
The United States hate women's reproductive rights, but
have
not
women died in Texas because of lack of abortion
women.
Care? Have women died in Texas due to lack of? I'll just say due to lack of reproductive care. Have women in Texas died because of this? Has the maternal mortality rate? Has the maternal mortality rate in the United States gone up due to a restriction on abortion access?
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's a perfect system or it
will young girls be forced to will young girls be forced to carry the children of their rapists because of abortion policies passed through by these states?
And some states yes, and some states no.
Yeah, this would be why this would be one of the many reasons.
Rape, incest, or
great. You said it should be up to the states, right? You said did you or did you not? Did you or did you not say it should be up to the states? Abortion access.
I didn't say it should be up to the states. I said it is up to the states.
Should it be?
I personally believe it should be up to the circumstance and up to, like, in certain situations, like rape, incest, minor.
Who should be who should be making the legislation?
Guardian.
Who should be making the legislation? The federal government or the state government?
No. Well, it should be a collective vote from the state. I believe states should be able to run their own shit and
that's
put
not
it on the
happening.
Ballot, people vote, and if that's how it votes, that's how it votes.
That isn't what's happening. So when we say the U.S. hates women, hold on. When we say the USA hates women, we're saying that states have been given unilateral power to make this decision separate of what people want, and the states don't care. Texas cares so little that women are dying that they disbanded a panel that they had whose goal of the panel was to investigate when maternal mortalities happen due to anti-abortion policies. They disbanded this panel because they don't actually care that women are dying. And you're now going, well, that doesn't mean they hate women. Personally, I think if you're letting someone die from a preventable reason, when all you have to do is give them back a right that they had previously, yeah, I think you hate that group of people.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I believe it should be different, but just to boldly say we hate women is every state obviously can fix their own issues. You know what I mean? But I think that's a very bold statement, just to say U.S. hates women.
So what you're basically saying is like,
feminism
women have fewer rights,
include black,
but
trans, queer.
No, they don't hate them. Why is that acceptable for you? Why is it okay that there are states in this what's supposed like United Nations? Why are you okay that there are states that have laws specifically targeting women and girls, and then say, oh, but like it's fine, like they don't hate you, but yet there's this state with several laws, and there's this state with several laws, and there's this state with several laws. Alabama, Texas, certain states like Arizona, Arkansas, there are laws, and also especially when you go into like really like specific things. You want to talk about the main victims of domestic violence? Do you want to know who that is? It's women. Yet domestic violence does not carry heavy charges when people are actually convicted. And do you want to know what the conviction rate is? Actually, I'm not even going to bother because I don't think that you care. Because if you did, you would want to make a difference and not just want it to be, sad because it doesn't affect you.
Okay, so you're obviously assuming a lot of things about me, saying, oh, I bet you don't care, I bet you don't do that, I bet you don't do this. I'm a human being who has my own thoughts, my own opinions, and I respect people. Like, into the next topic, I don't care if you're black, if you're trans, if you're queer, if you're a woman of color, if you identify as a rabbit, a bird. Like, I still respect the person.
Nobody identifies as animals.
So I'm trying to respect you guys, like,
Wait.
to
Can
sit there
you
and say, I
wait?
don't
You just
care, or
disrespected. Wait,
I don't think
that
you are going to care
you
is
can
like
hear
a
me,
far
but
fetch.
that statement you just made was incredibly harmful to the trans community. Nobody
Extremely.
thinks they're animals.
How's that
Can you
harmful?
not make comments like that? Because nobody thinks they're a freaking animal. That is not, you cannot, there's no transgender animals. That is not a thing. It is about gender.
I never said transgender animals. You need to pay attention to what I
You
said.
just said
Or if you
someone can,
identify
you just said
as
someone can
an
identify.
animal.
Okay, so you were implying,
Yeah, you guys can. Somebody can
that
identify
an
wherever they
animal
want
is an
to. Am I
identify.
right?
No. Okay, no, that's
If you
not
come
how
up
it
to me
works.
and say, "Hey, I
I'm
identify
gonna
as a
solve this
rabbit,"
with one
okay,
question.
cool.
Who did you
You're a
vote for
rabbit.
this
Go
election? Wait,
fucking
who did
hop
you,
along
can
and
you
be
tell me?
happy and do whatever
Great,
it is you
great.
want to do. It
You're
doesn't
being
affect me.
disgusting.
I
Can
don't
you tell
care.
me from the man that can't say he, him is literally spewing this shit is wild to me. Can you tell me real quick, who did you vote for? I'm just curious.
I didn't vote.
You didn't vote. Not at all.
No, no.
Out of curiosity, why?
I just didn't vote.
So
And
you
my one
recognize
vote,
that, wait, do you mind
literally,
telling me what state you live in?
sure. What's that? Oh,
What state do you
California.
live in? You live in California. Okay. So a safe state, ironically. So you didn't vote, and yet you recognize that state laws that are occurring because of a mandate handed down by a federal U.S. Supreme Court appointed by the former president, future president. You didn't think it was worthy of you to chime in with your vote?
No.
Wow. Okay. So you don't actually
Okay,
care,
so
and
so would you guys be more
you're okay
comfortable
with
with
USA.
the federal government deciding abortion rights rather than the states deciding?
I would rather neither. I would rather Roe v. Wade be reenacted and remain the law of the land, where it clearly outlines that up to the third trimester, those decisions are left to medical personnel and the patient. And beyond those time frame, they can put some stipulations in place at the state level to ensure the viability of said life. I like those laws, but those laws are no longer the law of the land because of a pain in the butt guy that was in office for 4 years and somehow got reelected as a predator, appointed 3 Supreme Court justices that are skewing the decisions and overturned a precedence that they all under oath said they would not overturn.
Okay. Next up, what is feminism anymore? I don't understand what that is because I believe it's so far out in the left field to say if it doesn't include Black, trans, queer, women of color, it isn't feminism.
Wait, what?
That one.
Can I ask, why can't you defend any of your positions? Like every time you are challenged on your position or what you supposedly believe in, you just like, okay, next topic. Why are you not sticking true to what you claim that you believe in? Why are you not defending what it is that you claim that you believe in? What's wrong with you?
I believe in respect for all people. Doesn't matter if you're, again, Black, trans, queer, women of color. I still have my own opinion, my own thoughts.
But when you say stuff
I don't
like,
believe
I
the
don't
U.S.
care
hates
if you're
women,
Black,
and
that's completely disingenuous. And it's disrespectful to my experience as a Black person, because my experience as a Black person and your experience as a white person are incredibly different. They are incredibly different.
I'm Italian.
They are statistically different. Does that make you not white, sir?
Oh my God, you did not just do that.
When people look at
My
you, do they not?
ancestors, but
Do you know?
Where's Jeff? We need to get him that I'm not white shirt.
Ethnicity.
Jeff, you've been summoned. Where are you?
Like, I'm not sure that you're aware, but white Italians exist, Black Italians exist. Just because you are Italian does not take away from the fact that you are white. So congratulations
so
on being
how did
Italian,
that
but
comment
you're still
offend
white.
you guys? I'm kind of confused on that.
Because when you say, I don't care if you're Black, I just want everybody to be respectful, it completely, and when I say completely, I do mean completely disregards the fact that my experience as a Black person, excuse me, as a Black person is very specific to the fact that my experience is what it is because I am Black.
Like, bro, do you really think that saying when somebody's talking about being Black and you go, well, I'm Italian, like, what do you think you're doing with that?
No, just because she's like, oh, you're from a white male. I was
You
like,
are
oh
white.
no, I'm Italian.
Italian people are white.
I was just throwing it out there.
What you're referring to is ethnicity. Your ethnicity is not your race. You are white. You are Italian. You are both.
Okay, but what is your experience as a Black woman have to do with me not caring if you're Black? Like, I don't see you any different if you are Black. I don't see you any different if you are trans. I don't see you any different if you are queer. I may not believe in like half the stuff you guys believe in, with like
I would like to answer
trans men playing
you asked a
women's sports,
question. I would like to answer now.
or teaching it in school.
You asked a question. I would like to answer now.
Okay, go ahead.
When I tell you, right, that something happened to me, and it is specifically happening to me because I am Black, meaning if I was not Black, this would not have happened to me. I need you to understand that, hey, this happened to you specifically because you are a Black person. Not because I'm a girl or a woman, not because I'm tall or short, but because I am Black. This happened to me specifically because I am Black is very emphatic to whatever it is happening to me. So when you say, I don't care if you're Black, after I'm telling you that someone just told me to go and pick cotton because I belong in the field, but then you respond with, I don't care if you're Black. You know, everybody deserves to be respected. No one is saying that to you. No one is saying that you deserve to be in chains again. No one's telling you that. You want to know why they're not telling you that? Because you are white. But when someone says that to me, guess what? That has implications that don't just affect me, but they expect other people that look like me. Whether they be children, because you want to know what happened to me when I was 5 in kindergarten? A child said that to me when I was 5. Do you think that he was saying that to everybody in the classroom? No, he said it to me specifically because I was Black. So,
have you ever said in your lifetime, I don't see color?
It's not as that I don't see color, but is there things that people of color go through that I don't go through? Oh, of course. Is the justice system fucked up and not right? And are they more likely to get pulled over or stopped or frisked? I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm just kind of confused on how she's coming saying that offends her.
Because by you saying I don't care,
I don't see you
like
any less just
what your
because
identity is, basically, if you're trans,
you're
if you're Black, blah,
other
blah,
than
blah,
you're white.
that's saying I don't see color.
What's that?
By you saying I don't care about these different identities, and I understand the way that you're saying it, but the way you're saying it is giving I don't see color vibes. You should care that people are of these identities, and you should care enough to advocate for them and stand up for them. It's not enough to be like, oh, well, you can be whatever you want to be, like, it's not gonna bother me. Like, that's not enough.
Yeah, for me, that doesn't bother me. And I'm not saying that Black people, women, man, whoever shouldn't have equal rights or who shouldn't be oppressed by the police, like, you know what I'm saying, or trans. I'm not saying trans people, just because they're trans, shouldn't have equal rights or equal opportunities, or queer people, women of color, whatever your guys' next topic is. I just don't think that aligns with feminism anymore, because it's so out in left field now. It's like,
That's false.
What is it anymore?
There's policy that's targeting the trans community right now. There's been hundreds, actually, I think it's in the thousands now, of pieces of legislation that have been either introduced and or passed over the last, 6 years that specifically target the trans community. We have a president that's coming in that wants to eradicate them from the military, to eliminate their access to healthcare no matter what their age is. What are you talking about? We literally have heard of them, like people in that community unaliving themselves just at the knowledge that Trump won the presidency. That's how dangerous he is to a community. And yet you're here saying that's not happening. That's because you're not in that community to recognize and see what is actually happening. That was her point. She's saying you can never speak from a place of being a Black person, let alone a Black woman, because you've never been that. So to sit here and say, I don't see it, or I don't care what you are, while not simultaneously trying to understand the perspective that they're speaking from, and it's a personal perspective that you will never experience, you are basically saying, ignorantly, I don't see color, and you are basically saying, I'm privileged, I'm safe from these laws, so they must not exist because I don't feel them. You wouldn't feel them.
Never. No.
Yes.
All I'm saying is, like,
What did I just
even when it
no?
goes down
Your
to,
answer
like,
is no. What
that
did I say that
aspect
was
of
wrong?
it needs to be, if you are 18 years or older, you can do whatever the hell you want, in my belief,
That's not what
with
the
your
law
body,
that is being
with
passed
whatever you
down is
want to
happening in the
do,
state of
wherever you
Florida.
want to go.
In the state, well, I don't care
Real
what you
quick,
think.
real
In the
quick,
state of Florida,
Alina, real
okay,
quick.
go
I take back the earlier statement. I definitely will do pay to kicks.
I just
Wait,
need to be super
isn't this
clear.
the same
And
guest that said he doesn't use pronouns?
correct. Yes, it is the same pronoun. Yes,
Had a
yes,
meltdown.
it is. Yes.
He said he was
Well, it's
Just
the
Italian.
same
really
thing,
quick.
like,
He said he was Italian when we started talking about Black people, bro. That's all I needed to hear.
Like immediately, not even listening to what I'm saying, just so quick to respond and
Well, I'm
say,
Italian,
I'm
so.
Italian. Like,
Bro, what the heck?
okay, I know Black people that are Italian as well. Like, do you want a cannoli? Like, I don't know. But when you say stuff that you're like, I don't care about this, and this. This is why intersectionality is a thing, because there are people that, although I know that you don't care, there are people in this country, born and raised here, that are going to be largely disenfranchised over the next 4 years. And you're just like, it's all right. I just want everybody to be respected. Well, everybody is not being respected. So what would you like to do?
okay, it's kind of funny to me how you guys are, like, so quick to, not, I want to say, not defend, but, like, to judge, call me out, say, I'm white privilege, I'm this, I'm that, laugh at
You
me.
are.
And I think I've been very respectful to
You
everybody
are.
here.
You are.
If
I'm
you
not.
start to go down the
I'm
road
just
of the
trying to hit
fact
on
that
your
like you
guys'
grew up with
topic
like a single mom
of,
and you
like,
pulled up your bootstraps
A
like the previous
single
guest, I
mom
can't.
with 2 jobs who loved her kids and never stopped. Just kidding.
so
I'm
yeah,
just
so
curious.
you guys'
Can I give you
feminism does
can I
not
give you an
exist anymore.
analogy?
That thing's out of it.
Can I give you an analogy? Wait, can I give you a quick analogy and just see if you understand what privilege is?
Good.
Okay. If you have 2 people, 2 men, okay, same race, same age, same demographic, they work in the exact same neighborhood, in the exact same house, it's worth the exact same property value, right next to each other. They both work at the same factory and they've been there the same amount of time and they make the same income, okay? But the guy on the right, he has 1 arm. Do you think it took him more work and effort to acquire that house and that job and that income and that life that his neighbor had, or no?
Pretty sure physically he had to work a little bit harder with 1 arm, yes.
Great. So we live in a society that has laws that have systemically targeted communities, women, minorities, marginalized groups, etc., as recent as the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So we're talking within the last 50 years. Do you recognize that that's going to impact their ability to access certain things like wealth and healthcare and resources, and the list goes on? Do you recognize that?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little. Say that last part.
I said, do you recognize that if we have systemic laws in place that specifically targeted marginalized minority communities, women, etc., within the last 50 years, as recent as the 80s, and still technically have laws that disproportionately harm certain groups today. But if you recognize that, do you recognize that that would make it harder for them to acquire the resources, healthcare, housing, wealth based on those laws?
Of course.
Right.
I
So you
don't see
recognize
what
that
laws
white people,
are.
wait. Okay, wait. That white people, specifically white men such as yourself or Italian, same difference, have never had those laws inflicted on them in this country, particularly nothing in the last 50 years, but you've never had laws that have disproportionately harmed you and given and denied you access to those resources, to those jobs, to that healthcare, to that housing, to that wealth. So therefore you were privileged. That is what privilege means. It doesn't mean that you've done anything, or, you know, you didn't maybe suffer or deal with financial issues. People that have white privilege can still be impoverished, unfortunately, because there's still classism. There's still other issues in our country. But it's the fact that your issues have never been a result of your skin color or your gender in your case.
But we have came a long way, haven't we?
You don't get to judge that, unfortunately. I'm sorry to tell you, but you do
And we
not
still
get
have
to
work to do
judge.
to get there for everybody. Like, I'm not saying, hey, we're at the finish line and
Listen. It's
everybody's
so
great
crazy
and
how like
grand
your
and
sentence started
America's the
right in the
best,
middle
but
of
I do
my
not
sentence.
believe
I think that
USA
that's
hates
actually so
women.
crazy. Crazy how your sentence started in the middle of mine. I'm going to just chalk that up to maybe there's a delay in our communication. Maybe. So it's my turn now. You, as a white person, and I know this might be shocking to you, but you don't get to gauge the measure of racism in this country or anywhere else for that matter. You don't get to say, hey, we're a lot better now. Do you think that now things are better because what, you don't see it? You think that because they don't, walk around saying, hey, this is my slur here, like, hey, this one right there, this one is mine, and then insert slur. Like, do you feel like because you're not seeing that like, oh, things are immeasurably better, they're so much better? They're not. They're not. Just because you don't see it and just because you are not affected by it does not mean that things are better. And it's not for you to say that, because none of the things that were happening were things that affected you or impacted you. So you don't get to say, oh, yes, this is better, because it's not. It's just legal. So I don't know, maybe sit with that.
If there still is racism, yes. There still is things going on that aren't correct, yes. But it has not gotten
And
better
slavery.
from the late 1800s to 1920 when women were given the right to vote. Has it not got better from Martin Luther King, from the movement of when trying to get black people equal rights?
I'm sorry. Do you mean
And
the one
to
that they
stop
assassinated?
segregation, has it not got
Do
better
you mean
since
the
that?
one that they
Yes. Is it
assassinated?
perfect?
Is that the
No,
MLK you're
it is
talking
not.
about? Are you talking about the
But
MLK that the
it
government
has
assassinated?
gotten better.
Is that the
And again,
MLK that
it's
you're
not
talking about?
perfect.
Are
So
you talking
don't
about the
say I'm
MLK
sitting
that
here
they
like,
assassinated?
oh, we're the
I'm just
greatest
asking.
and
You're saying
everything's the
that things are
best,
better
but it
because,
has gotten
hey
better.
guys, MLK was allowed to walk and breathe and talk. So hey, things are better.
Until he was taken
Again.
out.
Hey, Tamia, real quick. Tamia, real quick. What's 5 plus 3?
8.
8, bro.
I just like, again, you're here again measuring, oh hey, we're better, things are better, when guess what? None of the things that you are talking about were things that have affected, or impacted you. So no, I'm sorry, you don't get to say, hey, things are better because you can vote now. Really? Really? Things are
Are
better
they
because we can
not?
vote now? No, you want to know
Or you
why?
tell me
Because
things are not
you,
better
as the
from
main
the
perpetrators
1950s or
of
the
violence, like, I
1920s?
don't even, I don't.
And you guys don't know what I grew up in. You guys don't know where I grew up in or how I grew up to not
Here it comes.
have not seen this or still continue to see this. So, like, again, you
What,
guys are
are you
making
black?
assumptions
Are you
and
black?
throwing things out there. What's that?
Are you black?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. So what I can absolutely tell you, just from the fact that you're not black, I know for a fact that the things that you experienced are not your experience because you are white. I know that. So whatever it is that you experience, whether it be poverty, whether it be malnourishment, whether it be, lack of education, whatever it is that you experience, it is not specific to you because you are white. But certain things that I have experienced and other black people alike happen to us. They are our experiences because we are black. And that can go for a multitude of things. our experience in the job market, our experience in any sort of environment in which we are not the predominant group, that is our experience. So yeah, I need you to be able to look at me and my fellow like people, and I need you to be able to look at us and be able to say, I understand that this is happening to you specifically because you are Black. Because what that says to me is that, okay, you're aware that there are disparities and they're happening. And although these things might happen to people on a wide scale, I understand that there are things happening in this country specifically because you are Black. It is intersectionality.
I am aware. Have I not said I wasn't?
Well, when you say things like, I don't care if you're this color, and then you start listing every number of every color on the rainbow, and then you start listing, animals, there are people that are disabled, they are Black, and they happen to be women. That is a trifecta.
Okay.
That is a trifecta that we can't do anything about. We can't do anything about it, which means that our lives are harder, specifically because we are disabled, Black, and we also are women. There's a reason why the maternal mortality rate is extremely high for Black women and not others. Not to say that it is not on the rise for others, but not only is ours is high and on the rise. There are
So to sit there
things
and say,
that
I don't care if you're Black or trans or Asian or if you
you
identify
need
as
to
a
care. That's the
furry or
problem.
whatever it may be is what? Like
You
me
need to
personally,
care. That
I'm
is
not
what I'm
saying
saying.
those issues don't exist deeper than that or to every single person specifically. But me personally, I don't care. Like I'm still
But
going to
that's
treat
what
you
I'm
as a
saying to
human
you.
being.
That is the
I'm not saying you
problem.
don't,
You
or
need to
I'm not saying you're
care.
not facing certain issues, and you guys as groups or as people aren't facing certain issues.
But
Just
when
me
you are
personally,
saying
I
that
don't
you
care.
don't care, that's exactly what you're saying. You're saying, I don't care that this is happening to you because you're Black. I don't care that this is happening to you because you're Black and disabled. I don't care that this is happening to you because you're a woman. When you say, I don't care what color you are or what you identify as, you're saying that the things that are negatively impacting and affecting me are not things that you care about because of these things that are specifically pertaining to us. That's
Absolutely
what
makes no
we're
sense to me.
saying. And you want to know why it doesn't make sense to you? Because you have zero empathy.
I
Zero.
have my nephews and nieces are half Black. I have trans friends. I
Please
have
don't
gay
tokenize your
friends.
family members.
I
Please
understand
don't
what they
tokenize
go
the
through and
people
their
in your
feelings
life
and their
to
issues on
try
life,
and
and I
make up
respect
for
that.
your ignorance.
You do not
But
understand what they go through. You can see what
Please.
they go through, but you do not
it
understand
is
what they go through.
it is not. I don't know. Just for you guys to say, just because I say I don't care what you are doesn't mean I don't care about your feelings or what I
It
think
does.
your thoughts or
Because
your
there are so
presence
many
are or
people that
what
are
is
like,
going on
I
in the
don't
country for that
care
matter of the fact.
that you are Black and this is happening to you. You want to know what happens? You and millions of others that carry around that attitude, you all vote. You all vote. And when you vote, guess what? Guess what happens? Those things don't get fixed for us because you don't care that it's happening to us because of these reasons. So then more things happen to us. And they continue to happen to us. And then they get worse because you don't care that these things are happening to us.
Apathy, just real quick, apathy is the enemy of progress, just FYI.
Okay, so if I say, oh, I do care that you're trans or I do care that you're Black, like that means automatically what? So if I start seeing you,
Nothing
if
if you
I
don't
start
mean
seeing
it.
you instead
It
of like
means
human,
nothing if you don't
hold
mean
on.
it.
So what you're saying is, let me speak real quick, please. So if I start seeing you as caring just because you're Black, and I want to be your friend just because you're Black, or just because you're trans,
Nobody's saying
or I
that.
want to be your
Saying that
friend
you
just
have to be
because
our
you're
friend.
queer,
It's saying that I need you
like
to,
now I'm
it's
seeing
saying
you
that you
for what
acknowledge.
your skin color is, or what you identify as, or what your sex gender is, or rather than just seeing you as a person.
But listen,
Like
listen. Here's the thing, right?
that makes no
Me,
sense.
me. Listen. Me, right? I'm gonna use me specifically because this is what I can do, and it's also a very wide experience, right? I am Black, I'm a woman, and I am also disabled, right? So when I say, hey, this thing, right, is happening to me, these are all the things that I walk and live in every single day. I cannot wake up and not be either of the things that I listed to you. I cannot. These are the things that I live and breathe in every day, which means that I go through the world as a Black woman. I go through the world and I experience this world as a Black woman. So if I'm talking about my experiences and I'm talking about things that I'm witnessing, right? Things that I'm reading, things that are happening in the country, your response should never be, I don't care that it's happening to you just because of these reasons. You want to say, oh, you're a human being and we should all be treated that way. But that has never in the history of this country ever been a standard. Ever. That has never been the standard. And when you keep trying to say, oh, everybody should just be treated as people. You're a human being, and I look at you as just that. You can't just look at me like a human being. You can't, because there are things that affect me specifically because I am Black, because I am a woman and I am Black, because I am a disabled Black woman. They are the things that affect me. So I need you to not only care, right? I need you to attempt to understand. I need you to attempt to educate yourself, because when you just want to be able to live and be like, and you do, you live like, these things are fine. These things are not, none of this is real. But that's because it's not real for you. It's extremely real for us. Extremely real for us. I'm not saying you have to be our best friends. And I'm not saying that you have to be like, hey, I'm going to do this just for you because you're Black. No one is saying that. I'm just saying that you have to be able to say and to be able to acknowledge and identify that these things are happening because of these traits that we cannot change. And then when you start acknowledging that, it's going to open up a whole new world for you. A whole new world.
Is just real quick, because I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to keep my guess straight. Is this the same guest that said he voted for RFK, or was that the other guy?
No, it's the other guy.
Yeah, that was the other guy.
This one said he didn't vote.
Okay,
He said
so
he lives in California and that he didn't vote.
okay, so you proved your own. Who did you vote for in 2016?
2016 Trump.
Okay, so just remember, guys, he says him being apathetic doesn't mean that like shit can't change, or that he's not gonna, but he voted for someone that helped remove the rights of women. Just so we're aware.
Okay, and that has to do with.
Is this a joke?
Your vote allowed for 3 Supreme Court justices that literally enacted the law that we started this conversation talking about.
Okay, should we go to the last topic? Or do you guys want to still stick on the feminism? If it doesn't include everybody, it's not feminism.
No, go to the last topic. I want to hear his defense of this last topic.
All right, men don't want wives; they want maids, mothers, and nannies. On this one, me personally, and I think a lot of men generally just want a wife, somebody who's loyal, who is honest, who's going to be there with them through thick and thin. I think a lot of men will give the woman the choice if they want to be a stay-at-home mom and cook and clean the dishes and raise the kids, take them to school. I think a lot of men will give their wives the option to do so. And if they want to go out and get a job and be part of the breadwinner and make their own money and do their own thing, I think that a lot of men are open to having that as well. I don't think it's more one-sided that men want maids, mothers, and nannies, but I think a lot of women also choose that lifestyle and want to stay at home and have the men go out and make the money and bring it back. But I still
The
believe
fact that
it's
you started that
a
with loyal
50-50.
is weird.
What's that?
I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that your opening words were, "I want a wife that's loyal, like a dog. I like not a partner." Like the word partner, I don't think came out of your mouth. Like nothing that came out of your mouth sounded like a partnership. So I think you
How is not
almost
having
proved the
somebody
point
loyal to
here.
you? Not like cook my meal now, woman. Change my socks. Go bathe me. Like
What does loyal
emotionally
mean?
loyal, physically loyal, not going out to cheat on you, not like a loyal person, a partner, a wife, a husband. Like I would be loyal to her just as much as she is loyal to me. But I believe a lot of men would give them that choice, and I don't think men want maids, mothers, and nannies. Not all men out.
I think it's kind of crazy that you're saying that men would give their woman a choice to do this as if they are not fully autonomous beings who could make a decision about whether or not they wanted to be a stay-at-home parent. That verbiage is very telling
And
to
I
me.
said when a lot of women make the choice to stay at home, and a lot of women, I mean, that would have to be a joint conversation, right? Like I'm
But
just
that's not
saying,
what you
I don't think men
what you
generally want that.
men give their
Like,
woman the choice to do
it,
so. That's all.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think men participate in an equal workload in the household?
oh no, it is totally probably more one-sided and more of the traditional household, I guess you can say, of America, where the men go out, work, make the money, come home, and it's the women who usually stay there or have part-time jobs, um, maybe full-time jobs. We don't work as much overtime, so obviously they're home first. So they do the laundry, do the dishes,
So men,
go
just
pick up the
confirming,
kids, take them to soccer practice.
just confirming, men don't want nannies, maids, and mothers, but they refuse to engage in an equal share of the workload in the household.
I don't believe that.
You just said
A lot of the men I know
said
who are afraid to do
just
dishes, aren't
said
afraid to go out and mow the lawn. Like,
women are not afraid.
you know what I mean?
What?
I'm not saying they are. What?
You just agreed that women participate in more of the household labor than men and are now contradicting that. If men didn't
No, I
want
said
nannies,
traditionally, now yes. I said men aren't afraid to do those things.
but they're not doing those things.
And based on what?
What do you mean based on what?
Like, how do you know men are not doing those things?
Oh, sure. We have studies on this, like nationwide studies, calculating how much household labor is done by each group. Women on average spend 49 minutes per day doing household chores, while men spend on average 19 minutes per day doing household chores. Not even half the time that women spend on household labor. Men are not even spending half the time on this.
And does that study include the same time that the women and the men are in the household, like throughout the day?
It wouldn't matter the time you're in the household.
So
It's worth noting you even acknowledge that women that still work. Wait,
for 6
you
hours a
even
day, and the
acknowledge women that
man's in
work
the
full
household for
time.
2 hours a day.
I don't care if the man is only in the house. I don't care if you're. First of all, men aren't only in the house for 2 hours a day. That would just be ridiculous, right? And I don't even care if you're only in the house for 2 hours a day. It's your house. You should still be participating in an equal share of the workload, especially if you have kids. If you're saying that your wife have you ever spent all day watching a toddler?
Yeah.
So you recognize that when you're spending all day watching a toddler, you really can't do anything else. There's no time to do anything else. Toddlers take up the bulk of your time. So women are expected to cook, to clean, to do all of these things while also raising children, while also raising the child. And then when the husband gets home, that's when they're expected to now make dinner, clean up after dinner, finish any other household chores while the husband gets to what? Sit on his thumbs all day and fucking play fucking Xbox.
Again, I think it goes back to not men don't want wives, they want maids, nannies, or mothers. It goes back to what does the couple want? If they want the wife to stay home and do all that and be the stay-at-home mom, or if they want to share the responsibilities of both going out and get a job, do anything. I just think these things are such bold statements. They're kind of ridiculous.
If husband, I don't care if you didn't respond to anything I said. I don't care if the wife is at home all day. If there is a child, she's focused on that. Raising a child is one of the hardest fucking jobs you can do. So she's focused on the raising of the child. When the man gets home, they've both been working full-time jobs all day. Why are men not helping with an equal share of the household labor?
How do you know they're not?
Because I just gave you a study. I just gave you a study. I gave you literal facts about it. You're just going, nah.
I think we need to also change our language because it's not helping. It's your freaking house too. Participating. I think we start saying that because you're not helping anyone. Like it's your house too. They're your kids too.
Correct.
I would also like to state that when earlier in the conversation, he mentioned mowing the lawn. When we have this conversation, we're not talking about things that need to be done every 3 weeks. We're talking about the things that need to get done every day. The children have to get up and eat every day. And then also what goes along with, kids is entertainment, education, things of that nature. And everybody can't afford daycare. So if there's a stay-at-home parent, they are working. We're talking about things that, need to get done. The cleanliness of the house is an everyday thing. The children, they're everyday things. They're all day things. So we're not talking about the things that, happen every now and again. We're talking about things that happen every single day.
I don't know. I just admit, with me, I generally don't believe that men want just a maid, a mother, or a dad. Like, I believe they want a partner who's going to be trustworthy, who's not going to cheat, who's going to have their back through and through, and men and women will decide what the household responsibilities will be, and whatever they decide, that's what they decide. But I don't believe the generic public of men just want that, even especially more nowadays than anything.
That's crazy because 20 to 40% of divorces are because men were men committed infidelity. So they want husbands that won't cheat, but they're doing it. They want husbands that are going to be like the financial breadwinner. Why?
I do not know why divorce rates are so high.
Because men tend to cheat. You know why? Because they're out of the house and they're not engaging in the housework. Maybe if men were at home in the kitchen, they wouldn't have time to go out sleeping around.
Bars.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I actually do have to run. Somewhat pleasant conversation. I know we all have different views, different insights, everything else. I do wish everybody to have a great, wonderful day and upcoming holidays. Spend with your family. It's been a pleasure talking, guys, and thank you for taking my call.
Okay. Also, y'all, if you have a, I was too nice.
Yeah, why you let them do an exit speech like it's the Oscars?
Oh, because I was trying to get something up on my phone. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I do want to say, if the holidays come around and your wife and or partner does all the cooking and you don't lift a goddamn finger, you don't eat that goddamn food. None of it. You don't get none of that shit. And I don't want to hear any of this weaponized incompetence, but I don't know how to make it. No fucking food. You can eat a fucking hungry man dinner for all I give a shit. I do want to say thank you to Painted Piglet. They sent a message. They said, myself, my trans daughter, and trans partner all love you. Thank you for advocating every day. Please extend that thanks to the panel as well. So thank you, Painted Piglet. Thank you from us at the panel. And I do have to do a very quick commercial break. So we're just going to do a very quick commercial break. Remember, this is the Morning Manifesto, a live morning stream that I host every Monday through Friday here on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. If you want to support the stream, there's a few ways you can do that. One of those ways is by buying merch in our merch store. Well, my merch store, joevonbradley.com. If you guys are interested in a Morning Manifesto t-shirt, let me know. That can be arranged, but you can buy merch at joevonbradley.com. There's a ton of it. Remember to like and share the live, especially if you're on TikTok. Like the live, share the live. Also follow me so you can have access to the streams every day. Remember, all stream replays do go up on YouTube immediately after the streams. This is our class schedule. It is Feminist Friday. You'll see us again in the Morning Manifesto on Anti-MAGA Mondays, which will be Monday, where we talk about all things anti-Trump. If you want to support the show is completely sponsored by viewers like you. No corporate sponsors of any kind. So feel free, Cash App and Venmo are the best way to support. We do have a tip goal. And remember to gift the panelists. Gift the panelists for their emotional labor, for the work that they're doing and engaging in, especially Alina. I still think I spelled especially wrong, but I'm not changing it. And remember, we do have the Baddies Toy Drive. So if you do want to support the toy drive, there's a link in my link tree where you can go and buy a bunch of toys off an Amazon wishlist. All those toys are going to be donated to children in need this holiday season. Thank you guys. And Katie, hi, I see you here. Welcome in, Katie.
Hi. I didn't want to interrupt, so I kind of let everyone do that, but I just really wanted to know, like, next time someone talks about the second topic, I just really want to be like, why shouldn't feminism be intersectional? What the fuck? Like, he just kept saying, I don't think it should have to include all that stuff, but never saying anything else.
Yo, real. Also, just to let people know, we did change around some stuff in my Discord. Now, if you're in my Discord and you have your Discord connected to Patreon, which is slowly phasing out, but if you're using that still to support me, it's still there. Patreon to your YouTube, your TikTok, or your Twitch. If you are a subscriber, that means if you're a member on YouTube, any level. If you are a subscriber on Twitch, any level, patron, any level, and if you subscribe on TikTok, you get access to an exclusive chat. That chat is mainly going to be where you can talk to me. I'm really not going to be in the general chat as much. I'll be in the exclusive chat, mostly on the Discord. And we'll be doing supporter VCs in there as well. If you see me gaming on Discord, that'll typically be where that is. So you can join there if you want to. I think that was everything. Okay. Ooh, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. W, can we just get a W, Courtney, for the Cash App blowing us through our goal today? Everybody give a big baddie W to Courtney. Courtney said for W Morning Manifesto and W panel. So everybody say W Courtney for the Cash App, for the donation and the tip. We love to see it. We love to see it. Single-handedly helping us fund the morning show. I'm going to open up the call-in line. We'll bring in another caller on the YouTube if they want to chat with us. Just feel free to call in the number. First come, first serve. You will be contending with a panel of really informed women and femme voices. So I hope you can survive. Hello, are you here to have a conversation?
Yes.
All right. What is your name, age, and pronouns, please?
Name is Ryan, age 31, pronouns he, him.
All right, Ryan, just first of all, thank you for not fucking being a dick about the pronoun question, because that shit is annoying as fuck. Ryan, what is your thoughts on the topics on the board?
Well, I actually just kind of wanted to get everyone's thoughts on kind of how mine and my partner's household is kind of run and how we do things. I just kind of wanted to explain it all and then just see what everyone feels about it and see what everyone's opinion is. And if I could, you know.
I'm gonna let the women decide if that's something they want to hear.
To be honest, if the way that I'm not necessarily interested in the way that you run your household. That's me personally, just because I don't necessarily see, like, your personal experience in this manner is not necessarily reflective of society in its entirety. So if that is something that you guys did and you guys are happy with it, great. I love that for you. Otherwise, I would much rather keep it broad and how things are affected as a whole.
Right. Well, I just was kind of just spitballing, trying to basically say, like, do you feel, I guess, how we run the household being okay, so there's like a baseline, I guess.
That's a question for your partner.
I'm sorry?
That's a question for your partner.
Is this a question for my partner?
No. That is a question for your partner.
Oh, well, I mean, that's fine. I don't have a concern there, you know.
It doesn't really
fine
matter
on
what
our
you think
end.
about.
I'm just trying to figure out, you know, because I feel like it's just very much equal on both sides of it. And I just was curious to see if y'all felt the same.
Does your partner know that you go on? Does your partner know that you go on lives talking about your relationship? Like, how do they feel about that?
Talking about how we run the household, yeah, that's not an issue. Why would that? It's not very personable. It's just talking about chores and taking care of the kids and cooking and cleaning. That doesn't seem very private. But I mean, I guess if you feel that's private, I mean, that's the discussion.
Well, it's a consent thing.
I just gotta ask: are you looking for like? Are you looking? I don't mean this to sound like a dick, so I like don't take it that way. But like, are you looking for like a pat on the back that you're doing it the right way, or like what are you looking to see if there's things you can do better?
Explain it. I'm trying to basically get a baseline to see. I mean, because you know, you say that. I mean, you're generalizing all men, right? So Javon, I mean, you identify as man, correct? Male?
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. Okay. So does that mean you fall into that generalization? Do you believe that women should be nannies and moms and, you know, do everything in the household?
No, obviously I don't. When we say things like men don't want wives, right? The reason you use a generalization is because we don't want men to escape culpability. So just because I don't personally think women should be maids, mothers, nannies, doesn't mean that I don't have ingrained misogyny. Where if I have a partner and where I will sometimes act in a misogynistic way, where I'm thinking, well, this should be done by my partner for whatever reason, right? It also doesn't mean that I don't have internalized misogyny that will come out at times, right? Because all of us do. That's why it's a systemic issue.
Right. Okay. I guess my whole point would be that I just don't feel that way. I mean, I'm not misogynistic. I just don't. My wife is my equal. We are one. We operate at the same capacity. And I
have a question.
believe that's what makes a successful household is when you operate in the same capacity.
Can I ask you, do you think that as a man, you are allowed to dictate what is and who is or is not a misogynist and or misogynistic?
You said, say that again?
Do you feel like as a man, you can identify and dictate who is and what is misogynist and misogynistic?
I can't speak for others, but I can speak for myself because I am myself.
No, but I'm asking because so misogyny is a very like specific thing. And I'm asking, do you think that that specific thing is something that you are able to judge and like gauge as a whole?
I mean, I can judge and gauge it for myself, and then obviously if if I see misogynistic behavior from somebody, I can say, yeah, that's obviously, misogynistic behavior.
But and you don't think that you like portray that or like have those behaviors in yourself?
No. I mean, like I said, me and my partner are completely equal.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying, is that's how it should be. That's how a household should be. That's how you run a successful household.
Does your wife work, or your partner? Do they work?
So she used to. She was in HR for a while, and then I came upon a significantly better job, and we moved away for the job. And so she is a stay-at-home mom now because it's more beneficial when it comes to. Go ahead.
I just want to say I think that your response just then definitely comes off as a little bit like misogynistic to me, just because he asked you very plainly, like, does your wife work? And instead of saying yes, you took us all around to say she's a stay-at-home mom. And I think that automatically diminishes the work that she does because she's working.
But
so
I wasn't able to finish. But I mean, that's fine.
Yes, right off the bat.
When somebody asks the question, does she work? Obviously, they're implying like, does she make an income for the household? Okay.
I don't.
No,
did
she
you
does
ask
not.
him if that was what
But
he was
that
implying?
doesn't-
Or did
She
you
does.
Start
Wait, really quickly. She does make income for the household. The only reason you're able to make your income from the household is because she's a stay-at-home mom. So she is making income for the household.
Which is right. You're not wrong there. So yes, she does work. She's a stay-at-home mom, but she used to have a job before. As far as the, general household chores and everything like that, it's all split down the middle. We have certain chore days. We each have certain chores. In fact, I cook more than she cooks. She doesn't like cooking. Whenever she does cook, I take care of the kids. We do have a baby, so I take care of the baby. When I get home from work, I take the baby and, spend time with the baby. Or if she doesn't feel like doing the laundry or something that night, then I'll take care of the laundry. It's not a question of like, oh, hey, I'm tired, I don't feel like doing something. How I look at it is it's part of the day-to-day. Things have to get done. It doesn't matter who's where or what, what's going on. It's, hey, let's get it done together. And
that's all like good. I just genuinely, what made you call in to talk about that topic?
What is that not the point?
Yeah. Why? What exactly did you want to discuss about that topic?
You said men don't want wives. They want maids, mothers, or nannies, and that's not the case. I don't feel like all men.
That's great. That's great. If I say the sentence, women get pregnant, is that a true statement?
If you say that women get pregnant, is that a true statement?
Yeah.
Women get pregnant if they want to get pregnant.
Yeah, if I just make the statement, women get pregnant, is that true? Do women get pregnant?
If they want to get pregnant, yes.
Yeah, so women do. I don't have to always specify all. Does the sentence up there say all men want maids, mothers, nannies?
Okay, well, I'm just making the point that I don't believe that all men want that.
It doesn't say all men want that.
Okay, so,
Jovan is a man.
You're saying,
hold on. Jovan is a man. Do you think Jovan would make a statement like that whilst being one of those men? We didn't need you up here to prove that point wrong. We know that there are men out there that exist that don't want that. Jovan's sitting right there. Like, we don't need you to prove this wrong.
I think he came up here for praise, Katie, wanting to be like, "Ooh, pick me, guys! Like I'm doing it right. I'm doing what you're saying that we're doing. I'm doing it right. It's me, guys. I'm the golden unicorn. It's me." I'm thinking that's
The
what's
golden
happening.
unicorn. So you just saying the golden unicorn proves that you feel the majority of men want maids, mothers, and nannies rather than just
Yeah,
wives.
we think
rather than just
that
cars.
we think that men without implicit bias, misogynistic bias, are rare because they fucking are.
So it's not most men. I mean.
No, what did you not listen to what I just said? What did I just say?
You went down this whole trail with Katie, and you're still not tracking.
Like, what did I just say, bro?
You should just go have a good day. Honestly.
Well, like I said, that's on the topic board. I'm just saying that I don't agree with that. And I'm proof of that in itself.
Can I ask you one last time? Do you see the word all up there?
It doesn't matter. You say men. Okay? I don't agree with that.
And if I say bees sting, is that a true statement? Do bees sting?
So one man.
Can you answer my question?
One man wants that.
Can you answer my question,
let's say. Yes, bees sting. Congratulations. So one man.
Oh, great. So do all bees? Hold on. Do all bees sting? Every single one?
Not dead bees.
Let me just say this. I can't believe I'm going to use this again. On average, women engage in 49 minutes of household chores a day, while men engage in 19 minutes of household chores a day. If men collectively did not want wives to be maids, mothers, and nannies, why are men collectively on average not pulling their weight?
So let's put that statistic into perspective. Let's say that I work full time, 10 to 12 hours a day. The wife works full time at home. You could say 24 hours a day, right? But her work is at home, right? Is the home. My work is away from home. So if that statistic involves that, obviously them having a higher number, 49 minutes of working in the home, is going to be higher than a man's working in the home, depending on the guy's, amount of time at home. I mean, there's jobs that I had work sometimes.
You do understand that statistic includes women that are also working jobs.
Right, and in that right, there's no reason.
I need you to stop. I need you to stop because you don't understand that you're proving your implicit bias right now. You have 4 women talking to you. Let's call me a woman right now. You have 4 feminine people talking to you, and you are just talking past every single one. Like, we are telling you that because I have told you about 5 times already that statement on the board doesn't say all men. We are not making a statement about all men.
Great. So let's say it's 2 men. You're wrong. If it's the minority.
Do you have a stat to prove
Are you fucking serious right now, bro? We're not wrong. There are
statistics?
like hello?
Not interested in your opinions on it, honestly. Like, I'm no longer, like, we've tried to engage. You've gone out of your way to sit there and diminish the work that, partners at home do. So now I'm no longer interested in your opinion.
I have what now? I'm sorry. I've done what now?
Do you have a statistic to disprove the statistic that Jovan has provided for you? If not, go have some breakfast and have a good day.
If the woman is
dude,
home
it's not 2 men.
More.
Dude, no, I need you to shut the fuck up, dude. It's not 2 men. Making that comparison just shows how much you are belittling the statement that's being made right now, because making the comparison to if there was only 2 men, it's not only 2 men. It is most of them. And it's even you,
Okay.
bro. You are showing your implicit bias with the way that you are talking to the woman on the panel today about this topic.
So because I'm not catering to your feelings. I'm a misogynist.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, I was
there you
muted.
go. The way you
Hold
just
on.
said feelings in that
Hold on.
voice.
I wanna point something out because I want to just cover our bases and prove that, you know, we know what we're talking about. Per a study done in the British Journal of Medicine, even in marriages where women earn more, wives are still spending almost 3.5 hours more per week on caregiving and household chores than their husbands. Even when the wives are the breadwinners, on average, they are still making the bulk of the workload or doing the bulk of the workload in the house.
Yep.
Correct.
And by the way that you just said
Now-
feelings in that derogatory, sarcastic fucking tone, you just told me that you think that we're up here just talking about our little silly feelings. Like women's feelings don't matter to you. When we have provided you statistics, we're not talking about feelings, we are talking about a reality, and you still belittle it. Even if it was our feelings, it should matter.
So now with housework, do you not qualify, I guess, yard work as far as mowing the grass and shoveling snow?
Bro, you're fucking disgusting.
And taking care of property as housework.
I'm gonna just interject because somebody else did the same thing that you're doing right now. He did this earlier. He also talked about yard work, mowing the lawn. Do you mow your lawn every day? Does your yard need to be
I
mowed
mow,
every
so
single day?
I have 2.5 acres. Okay, I have 2.5 acres. It takes me.
Buddy. My question was,
Okay.
do you mow your lawn every single day?
No, I do not.
All right. Okay. So that right there, automatically out of the conversation when it comes to household
It's not
labor.
because I mow it every weekend for 2 hours. Does my 2 hours not matter?
Are
in your world?
you the average? You joke of a man. When we say average, what does the word average mean? No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. Hence why the average is what it is. That's what an average
mow
is.
their grass.
No.
Alina was trying to say something before.
Go ahead, Alina. Sorry.
Most men do not mow their grass.
Sorry. Stop talking now. Alina, go ahead.
No, all I was saying was that he disregarded everything that Katie said and just moved on to what he wanted to talk about.
Alina, you're cutting out again, Alina.
She was just mentioning that he disregarded everything I said, which he absolutely did. He just completely glazed over the fact that even if we were just talking about our feelings, the way that you are talking about it is showing your internal bias because you basically just said, I don't care if it's just your feelings.
No, it's not about feelings. It's about facts.
No, sir, listen. You said 2 minutes ago, you went, because I don't agree with your feelings. That's how you said it. But we're not talking about feelings. We have been talking about facts. Jovan has cited you. Excuse me, sir.
You told me.
Excuse me, sir. I'm talking. Jovan has cited you statistics. Jovan has given you facts. But what I am saying to you is A, you are still talking over us and past us even after we give you facts. B, you belittle those facts to just feelings. C, why wouldn't you care about women's feelings?
I don't care about strangers' feelings. That has nothing to do whether you are a woman or a male.
But
It does not matter to me.
You came up here seeking.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Our feelings on your situation. You absolutely do care about strangers' feelings.
Hold on. Don't let him do this. What else did I fucking say, sir?
What was said was just by the way you're speaking, you're misogynistic.
No, that's not what I said. What was the
speaking?
list I just gave you? What was the list I just gave you?
The list of your
I just
rhetoric.
gave you 3 points.
The fact that I said I don't care about your feelings.
That was 1. Did you even listen to the other 2?
The fact that you've given me statistics, which I've already said that the statistics that are given don't matter because they are not including.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they absolutely do. Have you read them? Have you read the studies?
I'm sorry. What was I going to say?
That they don't
Have you
include
read
the
the
yard work.
studies?
They don't.
Yes, they do.
Have you read them?
No, they don't.
Have you read them?
Yes, I have. They do not include.
Okay,
they do
say
not include.
it. Tell me right now. What source is Jovan looking at?
Jovan, check your Venmo.
So let's
Sir,
go
what
with
source is Jovan looking at?
Gender Equality Policy Institute.
Nope.
Let's see.
It's not the source I'm using.
Pew Research.
But shout out to Warrior Princess said, kick this joke of a man. All he wants is a cookie and to be told he's such a good boy for doing the bare minimum. Everybody W Warrior Princess. I want to give some quick stats really quickly, and then I want to let the ladies talk again. Just really quickly, when we're looking at the unfair split of labor, generally speaking, when it comes to husbands, even in egalitarian marriages, where they earn the same as their wives, husbands spend about 3.5 more hours per week on leisure activities than their wives do. Meanwhile, the women in those marriages spend a combined 4.5 more hours on caregiving and housework than their husband. Again, even in marriages where women earn more, wives are spending almost 3.5 more hours more per week, guys, on caregiving and household chores than their husbands. So this idea that even in marriages where everything is equal, it's not equal. On average, it's just not equal, guys. Plain and simple. Go ahead, panel. You guys speak.
I want to just say he literally came up here seeking validation for our feelings on his life. So for him to say, "Oh, I don't care about strangers' feelings," Boo Cakes, you came up here because you wanted to know our feelings about your life. You want us to pat you on your head and say, good boy, you did it. Come on, leap for your cookie, leap." That's exactly what he wanted. Just to come up here and be like, "I don't care," but no, you did. And I absolutely did say that the way that he was speaking, like his verbiage was definitely misogynistic, because the correct answer when someone asks you if your wife works and your wife is a stay-at-home mom, the correct answer is yes. It's not, oh, circle, just to kind of sort of end up at yes for you because you don't want to say yeah.
Yeah, I also like the fact that he said he doesn't care about strangers' feelings, so it's just the same as the guy before. If you don't care about strangers' feelings, you don't care about systemic issues. Like, misogyny is systemic. And you're saying you don't care. That's all you're fucking doing. Fuck you.
Remember, guys, gift the panelists. Today is Feminist Friday, so all the panelists are femme voices. Make sure you're gifting them for their emotional labor. They deserve it. Okay. Emotional labor in a TikTok live, still labor. Do you guys want to do one more?
It's definitely harder than mowing a lawn. I'll say that.
Let's do one more. This is definitely a lot harder. At least the lawn doesn't say, "Hey man, you're cutting me wrong." Even though you got the right blades.
All right, well, the call-in line is wide open. We got time for one more call. So if you're trying to get in on the call-in line, feel free. If you disagree, if you're in the YouTube chat, call in. They might be all, we might have ran through all of the whiny baby men.
Ran through is crazy.
Oh, here we go. Hello, are you here to have a conversation?
Hey, good morning.
All right, good morning. What's your name, age, and pronouns?
Good morning.
My name is Kyle. I am 35. I go by he, him, he, I guess.
Okay, Kyle, hold on, because somebody said some nonsense. They said these studies do not take into account yard work. Hey, chat, do me a favor real quick, just so that I know that I'm not crazy. Hey, Alina, I'll make it bigger. Can you just read this section on the screen real quick for me? Let me pull it back up. Where'd it go? Oh shit, where'd it go? I lost it. Hold on, here it is. Can you read this section on the screen? Is it too small?
The part that's highlighted.
Yeah.
Husbands, by contrast, typically take on outdoor and intermittent jobs such as mowing the lawn.
So thanks for the $10 to just be proven wrong. I hope that it was worth the $10 when the study does take into account yard work as the household chore that men tend to do. Thank you so much. Thanks. Love that. Guest can welcome in if you want to give your opinion on the topics on the board.
Yeah, sure. So let's see here. Man, I mean, I kind of want to piggyback off what the guy before me was saying. Well, not what he was saying. He was getting cooked. I don't think he was articulating himself very well, and I want to maybe try to shed a different perspective, if that's okay with you guys.
It's up to the ladies.
Do you have like an original like premise that you want to state?
Yeah. Well, I'd say that I'm listening to the conversation, and I would believe that. Well, I want to know what you guys believe. I know what I believe. When I look at the bias that takes place in the world today, the expectation that women should, or the belief that women should be the primary caregivers or caretakers, or in the household. And as you guys said, what was the statistic that women do 49 minutes of work on average and men do 19? Is that the number?
Per day.
Per day, right, per day. And I agree. I think there is a bias, right? An unfair bias. I don't think anybody can, genuinely dispute that. If they are, they're not being honest. But I think that some women like that, right? I think some women, they want to, be with the kids more often, and they want to, spend more time doing household work. And they prefer the man to be the breadwinner, and they prefer the man to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. And some women, they want to work less. Some don't want to work at all. And I think it becomes dangerous when, just like I think it's wrong for a man to say a woman has to work, has to be in the house, and she's not supposed to, the man is supposed to be in charge. I think that's not right, and I don't think that's fair. I think it's equally unfair, and I think this is the part that goes unexplored, particularly, when we're looking at feminism, is that some feminists go the opposite extreme. And if a woman does want to be in the house and they do want to clean, then she's shamed. That woman is shamed by the feminists. Like, oh, the only reason you want that is because of is because of the patriarchy, and you've been brainwashed. Yeah, that's my premise essentially.
No, you don't know anything about feminism. First off,
Can you address my premise? Can you address my premise? You're just attacking me as a person and my knowledge, but I feel like I made a very good point. I think I made it very respectfully, and I would like that point addressed.
I think you have no proof that women. I think you have no proof that women prefer to stay home and do the household work. I think you're just making assumptions with no evidence to back that up.
You also said that there's times where women don't work, and we've already established that there is no such thing as a woman not working in a household, whether she goes outside or stays inside. Especially if there's kids involved, there's no such thing as not working. And in the previous call, which you said you were listening to, we already provided evidence that even women who do earn more, so they're working more, still do the bulk of the household work. They still do more household work than their husband. So all this would point to women just being left out in the cold and not being supported.
Yeah. Now, if the woman is working, being the breadwinner, and she's doing more of the household work, I mean, that's obviously not fair, right? I don't think anybody would I mean, I'm sure somebody would try to argue that it is, but I think they'd be wrong. I think that's not fair. I don't think that's right. And I think that is an example of the unfair bias against women, and the unfair expectations placed on women. My only premise is, and I don't think it's a controversial take at all, I just think that some women do prefer that, and it's just their preference. And I don't think they should be shamed for wanting that. And I don't think some men should be shamed for wanting to fulfill that financial breadwinner role. Now, granted, there
Who's
are going to
doing
be.
that? Who up here has shamed any woman that wants to stay at home and wants to take on the housework? Who's doing that here?
Well, in the comments, I saw a conversation where someone was
Right,
talking
we don't
about.
control the comments. Who's doing that here?
Okay,
Who's
I didn't
doing
know
that
that.
in the group of
Okay,
people that
okay,
you're
I didn't know
talking
that.
to?
I didn't know that. Okay, okay.
Like,
But yeah,
why
that's
do
pretty
you
much
feel
it.
why did you feel the need to say that to us? Who up here has given you any inclination that we would dare shame a woman who chooses to be a stay-at-home mom and chooses to look after the household as her job? We literally shamed the last guy for not classifying his wife being a stay-at-home mom as work.
Okay, I can respond to that. So the last guy, he was talking about his wife and his experience, and the comment was made that we're talking about society as a whole. And just as I'm not making my point about the people here on the panel, I'm making my point about society as a whole. So I'm just following the foundation
Why
you
did
guys
you
have
feel
laid.
that? Why did you feel like you needed to be the person that said that? This is the issue I am having. Like, we
But
up here, there are three
yeah,
women.
I
I'm a
can
non-binary
respond to that.
person. Excuse me,
Yeah.
sir. You didn't need to say that. We can say that ourselves. We are literally talking about the appreciation for women who do household work, who do be a stay-at-home mom, and how hard that job is. We don't need you to come up here to say that. We have already said it.
I would also like to state that you said that we're talking about like society as a whole, and society as a whole does not shame women for choosing to be stay-at-home parents. Like society as a whole does not do that. It's actually like frowned upon when women want to go outside of what the patriarchy deems to be like their place. Essentially, society literally punishes women for not wanting to be what the patriarchy has forced them and like enshrined them to be. So societally, that doesn't happen. When I was asking if you had like an original premise, I was maybe I should have been more specific, but I was talking about the topics that are on the board. I don't know if you can see it, but under Feminist Friday, there are topics up there, and that's what I was asking if you had a original premise on.
When you say original premise, I'm sure I can provide one, but I'm not quite sure what you mean by. I thought my premise was original, but I do want to respond to what you said. That's a very good point, actually. That's a good point. Like, you're right. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, society as a whole, they do shame women when they try to deviate, or not when they do deviate from that. I don't have a comeback for that. That's a valid point.
Okay. Do you have an opinion on any of the things listed?
Men don't want wives, they want maids. I mean, yeah, sure, some men do. I mean, yeah. I don't know what percentage of men. It shouldn't be any, right? So it doesn't matter if it's a little. It doesn't matter if it's a lot. The point is, it shouldn't be any. But I would agree with that. Some men are lazy. U.S. hates women. I think that's going kind of far.
Okay, elaborate on that. Why do you think that that's going far?
Well, I'd say today in 2024, the American. See, let me think before let me make sure I'm very precise. I'm very precise here. Okay, I'd say that in 2024, women are given more rights and opportunities than they have in the past. I say things are going in the right direction. Now, granted, there are some areas because you got the whole Roe versus Wade situation where things are not going in the right direction, right? But I'd say as a whole, women are having more rights than they had 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Would you guys agree with that?
Using the word given is wild.
Or awarded, or I don't know the proper terminology. I'm just trying to
We
whatever
fought
the
for those
correct.
rights. We earned those rights.
Well, I'd say wouldn't even be the right word, because a right is something that you don't earn a right. Like, right is something that you're born with, right? Like, I earned a promotion at work.
Not in a
Right? A right
patriarchy.
is something.
Hold on. I do
Hmm?
want to. I'm gonna just stop that right there. Rights are not something that you are born with. Like, there are literal. Like, we have a constitution, right? Because we had to establish rights and what they were and who were entitled to them. So while we want to believe, like, generally, do I believe that everyone should be born with a certain amount of rights? Absolutely, 100%. But societally and legally, which are like the main ways that matter, we are not necessarily just born with rights, and that has not been our experience over time. And we absolutely did earn those rights. We were protesting, we were in the meetings, we were doing the sit-ins, we're making our voices heard, fighting to get the legislature like passed, because that was what we had to do, because we were not viewed as human beings worthy of being able to speak in public. Put that out there.
Yeah. I guess what I was trying to express is that we shouldn't have to earn rights, or shouldn't have to fight for rights, because a right by definition is something it's your right, right? Like, a right is something that, like I earned the ability, or earned the capability, or privilege to do A, B, and C. But a right is something I shouldn't have to earn, right? That's what I was trying to express. So,
But you're saying a right is something that should be given by someone else.
No. I'm saying a right is something that is inherent, and it should not have to be given by someone else.
Use the word given.
Hmm? No, not given.
It wouldn't be given.
Like, no, not given as in passed from one. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying it is like something that's it's something that's a given, not given, a given. That's what I mean by that. It's a right. They should have it. There's no question about it. No one gives them they only should be able to tell them whether they have it or don't have it. That's why they say we have unalienable rights. That's something that no one can take from you, right? So my point is, the point here says USA hates women, and I think that I want to know what you guys think, but I think that women are in 2024 have more rights than they have in the past, right? Which is bad. They should have always had all rights. People of all colors should have always had rights. Trans, gay, everyone should always have all rights at any time in history. And I'm saying that in America today, I think that things are on an upward trend.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If I give you a plate of shit, would you eat it?
I probably wouldn't. No.
What if I took like 25% of the shit off and I was like, see, it's better than it was before? Would you eat it?
Nah, probably not.
There you go.
I'm not understanding.
Just because something is slightly better does not mean it's good. Does not mean it's in a place it needs to be. There's still shit on the plate. So we're sitting here telling women to eat the shit. There is still shit on their plate. There should be no shit on their plate.
I think we all have shit on our plate. I think men have shit on their plate. I'm a black guy. I think black guys got shit on their plate. I think the nature of the world, we're all going to have shit on our plate.
I'm sorry.
Like, there's no world where no one has shit on their plate.
That's not the reality of the situation, though. Like, that's not the reality of like, honestly, that's not even your reality versus my reality. Like, your reality is different, and it's distinctly different from my reality, because you can go, right, and go to the doctor, and this is just a very general one. You can go to the doctor and receive care that is most likely not only going to benefit you, but it's going to put you in a better place than you were before you went to the doctor and received that care. For example, right? You can go and go get a vasectomy with no questions, no other thoughts other than sign these forms, cool, we'll get your appointment on the books. I cannot just go to the doctor and say, hey, I would like a complete and total hysterectomy without being questioned. Like, doctors have the ability to deny, and they do more often than not, deny women the rights to have complete and total hysterectomies. Nope, that's not happening to you. You can go and get your vasectomy if you want to. We can also talk about how you can go and receive treatment for different levels of care, right? Whatever it is that you would like, that whatever it is what's wrong with you that you're seeking the doctor for, you can go and receive that care. And your care, right? The odds of you going to go receive your care and end up better are higher than my odds of going to go receive that care and be better, because majority of the system is based on men. Most of the medicine that is tested is based off of men. Most of the procedures, that are done are based off men and how they responded and how they reacted to it. It's not, specifically tailored, to us. They just run some math and they think that, hey, these numbers are what works. But it's not the case.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm listening.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Okay, the whole part about women getting questioned and challenged by her doctors, that's not right. That should not be happening. So you're right about that for sure. As far as the test being performed, majority of those tests being performed on men. I have a background in research. I've done like clinical studies before, and statistically, for it to be a sound study, it should be the people they do the study on should be representative of the population. So it should be, they usually aim to do 50% men, 50% women. If they're testing a medication, they tend to do 50% men, 50% women. That's like a standard, because no one's going to approve, or most people aren't going to approve a drug that hasn't been properly tested on both genders or sexes, whatever you want to call it, because that could open them up to lawsuits down the line. So I'm not sure where the source of that came from, but generally speaking, they test on both equally. I'm sure there are some outliers where they don't do that, but majority of the cases they certainly do. All right, so I want to respond to what.
That's what I'm saying. That was not always the standard of care. Our
Oh,
standards and
okay.
things change now. They want to be more representative. They want to be, right. But the standard of back then was primarily based on men and men's care and how it would react to them. Like, there's no such thing as a wife stitch. Are you aware of what the husband stitch is?
I'm sorry, stitch? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Stitch?
Yes, stitch. Do you
No,
know what the
I'm not
husband
aware.
stitch is? Okay, this is a widely practiced thing, and when I say widely practiced, I do mean widely practiced. It's so practiced, right? It was so normal at one point that there's a section that people go through in medical school now to learn about this and how awful it was, right? So the husband stitch is something that men would ask their wives and their partners, doctors, to do freshly after their women, right? Because back in the day, women were property, they would ask their
Right.
doctors to stitch up their partner's vaginas like immediately after childbirth. So that way they could still receive sexual pleasure from their partners immediately after childbirth. And doctors would, guess what? Do it. And it's not against the law, and there are
Yeah.
some
It
places
still
where
happens.
it happens today.
Like I literally know a person that had this done without their consent.
Yeah, it's definitely still happens. It's not even outlawed in the country. Like it's not out. It's not against the law for doctors to perform this. And they would use it as an excuse, so that way the men could not only exercise their control over their partners, but also so they could, use their partners.
By the way, this is just the remaining time in the discussion before the live's got to end. So keep going. This is just how much time we have left.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know about that. That is messed up. That is definitely messed up. But I do want to respond to what you said. I'm sticking to my main point here. You said that they didn't, as far as the studies in the past, the majority of the time they focused on men, and now today them being more representative of the women. That's what they're trying to do. That actually supports my stance, and my stance is that things are on an upward trend and things are getting better. That supports my stance. You actually supported that for me. Thank you for acknowledging that.
Don't you remember what Jovan said?
I said it. Are things where they should be? No, and I'm not saying that they are. Are women treated unfairly today? Absolutely. Are there unfair expectations and biases? Absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with everything. I'm just saying I disagree with the statement that the U.S. hates women. That I do disagree with.
Do you still think that there is an upward, turn of things when Trump just got elected?
100%.
Do you think that's going to continue?
I mean, 30 years ago, did we even have a woman running for president 30 years ago?
No, but do you still think that this is going to continue when Trump has just been elected?
Oof, man. I mean, look, you're asking me about Trump. That's a whole different. I know, man. Trump is. Oof.
It's comical.
I don't even want to touch that with a.
Do you find this? Do you find this comical? Oh my God! Thank you for the galaxy. Holy shit!
No, I don't find it comical. I find it. Well, yeah, I actually do find it comical that he got reelected. I think that's comical. I think that's ridiculous. But yeah, after the things he did and he said, for him to get back in office. Anyway, I don't want to lose the focus. The USA hating. A lot of women voted for Trump. Now, let's be clear. I don't want to get into who voted for who. I didn't vote for Trump. A lot of women voted for Trump. Let's not forget that.
I'm aware. White women did it. White women did it. We know white women did it. But I want to say that throughout the years historically, your rights have never been consistently up for debate, nor have they been, consistently brought up as not just, political like puppets, but they're not up for debate every time you look up. There's nothing
Who
that
I'm a black man. Who the hell it hasn't?
Can you tell me when was the last time
my rights happened?
your rights specifically were like black men specifically? I'll even be super specific. When was the last time that a black man's rights were up for grabs?
When George Floyd was choked out on the ground and choked to death.
A black man's
what do you mean?
What I'm asking you.
Yeah, his right to live. His right to live. So look,
no. I'm not talking about.
Yeah,
I'm talking about policy wise. Policy wise, there was never there, and even during George Floyd's time, there was never a time where they were like, "Hey, we should make it so black men cannot do X, Y, and Z." There was no debate about that. There was no debate about that.
What?
Just to add in really quick, everything that was targeting black men were also targeting black women. That's the point here.
Okay, good point.
Can you name me something legislatively, right? Because that's what's been talked about here. Okay. Legislatively, that targeted black men specifically and did not also target black women.
Well, we're running a long time. I would say that the war on drugs specifically the prison industrial pipeline, I say that more significantly targets men of color, and that's something that uniquely targets men of color. It doesn't target white women. It doesn't target black women.
So really,
you look at
just
how many black men are
just
in
really
prison
quickly,
today.
really quickly, because there's only 30 seconds left. It disproportionately affected black men, but black women also suffered from the war on drugs. The crack epidemic also heavily impacted black women. It disproportionately affected black men, but black women still felt hit from that. But that is all the time we have today. So thank you for calling in. And if you want to talk another time, feel free to call in another time.
All right, this was lit.
All right, everybody, let's give a big W thank you to all of our guests today. If any of you guys on the panel want to say, oh, you guys, look at me engaging in misogyny. If any of you ladies want any final words, feel free. Now would be the time.
Thank you so much for hosting the space, Jovan, and not only hosting it, but also like taking your own step back on your, live to make sure that we were prioritized and emphasized. So yeah, I really wanted to say thank you for allowing me up, and I really appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for the gifts, and I cannot wait for our next morning manifesto.
All right,
thank you.
To me, you have a great rest of your day. Anybody else?
I just men to really take a second before they call into a line talking about women's perspective of society and their experience. If you're going to come up and be like, let me talk about some other woman's perspective, you don't need to. If you're a man, don't do that. Don't call in and say, but some women want to stay at home, as if women can't say that for themselves and they don't already know.
All right, Alina, Jess, anything? Alina, do you want to tell us about, you know what?
Yeah, make sure you get a heated blanket. Highly recommend. But also, thank you for letting me only bring up some voices. Love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't actually know if Jess is here. She's been in the box, but I haven't heard from her in like an hour. So, but thank you guys for watching. We'll be live tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Sorry, Monday for Anti-MAGA Monday. And Alina, I think me and you, I think we should talk about whether there are some of these days we want to change now that we've done them for like a week. If we want to stick with what we've got so far. But
yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah. But thank you guys. I don't know if I'll be back for debates tonight. I probably will be. If I am not, I will be in you will see me on Discord in the I'll definitely do a VC in the subscriber chat for if I don't do a live tonight. So thank you guys so much. I'll let you know later today in Discord if we'll be live tonight. Peace out. Love you guys. Bye.